Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 16 of the Skypiller Sitdown. My name is Ballhawk, and tonight I'm joined by 4 co-hosts. I'll let them introduce themselves.
I'm a regular here. You probably know me. I'm SunSun.
Who's that?
Alright, I am Mancini The Amazing or Electric. Hello?
Yep. You got the invasion of the VGC crew this week. My name's thejordan, your coach of the Virginia Vikavolt. Excited to get into it.
And I am Vini. Hello.
Yeah, so we got, like you mentioned, we got the VGC invasion. We got 3 players from our VGC division this week, hoping to spread the love. And, heck, excited to have you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
How was everybody's weeks 3 through 6?
I am not a fan of being crit by Fish's Thread.
Oh, God.
Who is?
Most people are generally not a fan of just being hit by it, but being crit by it out of a game 1 is very sad.
My past few weeks in the SPS have not been great. It's been a series of unfortunate events, but the league overall is doing well. So my ambitions went from like, oh, I'm so good, I'm gonna win all the weeks, to like, let's just try to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm in the exact same spot as Jordan. Started off great, and now it's spiraling ever since Electric 2-0'd me in week 5.
Hey, you brought some fun stuff this week. We can go over that. That was
Later.
Yeah. We'll get to it.
I mean, it certainly feels like all of us are on a bit of a downward trend right now.
Well,
Yeah, I haven't won a game in like the past 2 weeks, but I'm gonna bounce back. I'm definitely gonna make playoffs, so we'll see how.
the confidence, I love it. I've been kind of up and down. I won 1 week and then sacrificed my Galar Slowking to a Mega Septile Earthquake and lost that week. And I won this week, so Ragu put in a lot of work. I was excited about that one.
Very powerful.
Yeah, we're trending in the right direction, and I'm fairly sure I'm going to make playoffs. I'm not ready to say, I'm oozing with confidence like someone else, but
Hawk for Lugia.
I am honestly not confident that I'm even going to make playoffs at this point. Like,
no,
that schedule's terrifying.
you got. I think all you guys are gonna make playoffs. Me on the other hand, we'll see.
Thank you for the
TBD.
confidence.
No, you're welcome.
I believe in Lugia Bullhawk.
that would be the day. So
He's on an uptrend.
I suppose that would be the next step, huh? That I can go and lose to SunSun each week, or 1 week.
Twice. We'll lose to SunSun on season, lose to SunSun second round of playoffs.
Right.
In semis.
But you've never played me, I don't think.
I don't think we have. Were you in? Season 2. I was in Articuno and you were in Moltres.
No, we were in the same division.
Were
but
we?
You never played me.
I'm glad because you pretty much ran through everybody that season.
Game to look forward to then, eh?
That'd be a fun one. Maybe we could do it.
Your original question, how's the life been? It's been trending up, but I realized that like my world is not the same as everyone else's world. Like I'm thinking like the world's getting warmer, the vaccine is rolling, so all of a sudden we can have normal lives again. But like also where Electric is, the world is not getting warmer, it's getting colder. Some places don't have a vaccine.
The vaccine definitely not going out too well over here either.
I can whip on that one.
For some people, the past year has been especially unkind. So, from my vantage point, I'm excited, and I'm really excited for the world to get warmer and more normal again. But I hope the rest of the world is in the same direction.
Yeah, I think everything's kind of on the upward trend, looking up. Hopefully, wherever you're at. I know I got my second vaccine 2 weeks ago, and it knocked me on my butt. Glad I got it though.
Yeah, I've heard that about everyone. That like after the vaccine, especially the second, they just get destroyed the day after.
It's one of the two. Like usually, some people it's been the first shot, but it's never like both of them get knocked out.
It makes sense because that's what vaccine does, right? It makes you sick.
Yeah, you're getting sick, so your body learns it and is better equipped to fight it next time.
Exactly.
It's such a weird feeling to know that you're going to be sick and also that you're going to be fine. Because you're just like, okay, I guess this is going to happen now.
Yeah.
This is what people come to Skypiller sit-downs for, right? Medical advice?
Exactly. Yeah, that's what we're here for, right? Sit
Where's
down.
DJ Alley when you need him?
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm looking at getting a vaccine in like late 2022. The way my government's going, so
No, no.
Jeez.
That's
Uh,
awful.
Well, hopefully it rolls out
low,
sooner.
low, low risk, and just being an Australian. I'm just glad that my grandparents are looking to get it this year because originally they weren't. So
Well, that's a big win.
yeah.
Well, there's not too much for news and notes around the league this episode. We're kind of in the midst. We are in the middle of the season, really. Finishing up week 6 right now. By the time you listen to this, we'll probably be about halfway through week 7 or so. Yeah, not a whole lot to update. The playoff races are starting to, the pictures are starting to form. I guess I haven't really been paying too much attention to the playoff races in the other divisions, but I know Moltres is really, like, nothing's decided, like, for sure yet.
Yeah, I think that we had a drop in VGC, and Fat Rat took over for
Oh,
I
yeah.
forget who it was.
James.
That's right, yeah.
James
James
Z.
Z took her, step down. That's right.
Yeah, I think that's I didn't notice any drops in other divs.
Was the last,
Um,
was Lynn,
No, just Article.
Lynn was Zapdos, yeah.
did that happen before last episode? I don't
Well,
know.
I don't
sure.
think so.
I think it happened before last episode went up, but I think it might have happened after last episode was recorded.
So we had Alex drop, and he got replaced with Lynn, I believe.
Article also had a drop, and then Lugia had a ejection.
Oh man.
Special case.
Yes. Yeah. So, other than that,
I've
though,
never been in the position to like pick up a team halfway through. I do respect the people who do it though, because it keeps the league running. But yeah, I think Fat Rat improved James's team. I think he took the best stuff and kept it, and then brought in some better stuff like Gigalith and Sand stuff. So I'm going against that next week. So
Yeah.
Well,
against
I
it.
He
think
made some great
lost
changes.
the last 2 games, so
dude, picking up a team halfway through the season is so hard in general. Like, trying to take somebody else's draft and make it your own. Like,
I remember in SBT, I think it was, I took over in my first thing with like 2 weeks to go, and I decided that like there was like nothing left on the board, so I picked up like Mega Camerupt, Porygon 2, and both games my Camerupt got crit when it would have won. It was very sad.
oh no.
Sadness. But I was gonna add something onto the rap point. So
Oh, yeah.
I know he worked with James to like help make his team. So like he was already kind of comfortable with the team, and he already had changes in mind. And like I know I helped him, and we immediately were like, Gigalith looks amazing on this team. So it sucks that he hasn't won a game yet with the new team, but I think he can pick it up.
Oh, that's kind of like
Yeah,
the best
I'm
case
sure he
scenario,
can.
actually.
He's got a few weeks left.
Yeah.
I need his first win to be next week because I need to snap this losing streak.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
I
in a
didn't see
league-wide losing streak too, so I need to snap it.
I really need to recover in week 7 after my week 6 game.
I believe you guys. You got this.
It's fine. I'm just playing against the number 1 in the rankings,
Well, I mean, you're like number 2, number 3, right? You're number 2.
After I lost, I think it hasn't been updated yet, but I think I dropped to number 6.
Okay.
But you're playing Lemuro next week?
Yeah, I'm playing Lemuro. It's terrifying.
Ooh,
Do you want some help?
Good.
I 2-0'd him.
Leagues.
that'll be a big
Very
game.
bad. So Lemuro. I got a bad matchup as well.
Maybe we can
Very
get maybe take a peek at that one later on in the episode. We'll see. I think next up.
It's cool. I mean, I'm really enjoying my season here so far. There's a lot of interesting teams. A lot of like this is my second VGC league, and I mean I'm doing okay. I really did not branch out particularly much from my playstyle the previous season, though I think I got like more like I picked up in the other season I played in. But it's very interesting to see a lot of the different ways that people are adapting, because the other league I played was in Series 8 with all the Ubers. Just seeing different teams is interesting.
Right. How do you like
There's
the
one-
changes between the different series?
Well, I don't really like. There's a lot of speed tier changes. I think is the biggest thing. I noticed that in my Series 8 league, a lot of the speed tiers were centralized around the restricteds, whereas I'm finding in this league you generally need a lot faster than you did previously. Because like, if you had a Katana was faster than the majority of restricteds, and that was cool. But in this league, Katana is slower than a lot of Pokemon, so I'm not finding it to be particularly good.
I don't like Series 8 drafts. I've only taken part in one, and I know that like the restrictors, they're so strong that like you can't not bring them. You always have to find some answer to them, and sometimes like non-restricted, it's very hard to find an answer to beating a Kyogre water spout. But I found that there's not a set speed tier. When you remove the restricted, some teams are really slow and some teams are really fast, and it's unclear whether you need speed when you can have speed control, when you can use tailwind, fast icy wind. I find if you just have one fast mon that like can reduce the speed of the opponent, then like you don't actually need to have speed on anyone else. Like just like one fast icy wind, or just like a choice scarf bulldoze or something. Just something to change the speed situation. You don't actually need to be fast. That's my draft philosophy, and obviously Electric's got a different one.
I mean, I like have that, but I also like coupling speed control with natural speed as well. Because like, if both you and your opponent go for a max strike turn 1 and drop each other's bonds by 1 speed stage, if your mon is faster in the first place, then you're still in the advantage position. A lot of what I got from it was a lot of what I learned in terms of the way that I've been drafting is seeing a lot of stuff in series like 4 through 8, where a lot of it's like, okay, we both set up Tailwind, but my team has a Regieleki and your team has like an Inteleon or whatever. So my team is still faster, even though we both have speed control up.
There's something to what you're saying, Electric. Like I peered ahead at my match with was it Fat Rat and the Alola Chews next week. He's got the super fast Whimsicott plus Dracozolt plus Cobalion, Tailwind, and already they're pretty fast. So like I'm like, oh, I can outspeed these guys with Tailwind, but like if we're matching Tailwind, then that's probably speed control. So yeah, I'm gonna need multiple forms of speed control.
So I think I'm gonna jump in to stop the bromance here, but I was gonna add my take on Series 8. So I haven't actually played Series 8 in a draft or even on the ladder because I just personally very much dislike it. And from a spectator perspective, it's very not fun to watch Zacian Crowned or like Kyogre just kill entire teams on their own, and the Mons be so centralizing because it really just makes the meta so stale and small from that perspective.
I would agree with that.
I can't say that like
a lot of leagues just ignored Series 8, and there's like Series 7 is the draft league meta. We're just gonna stick with that for.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Worked out fine.
I thought Series 8 was fine as a draft format. I feel like the restricteds did not tend to auto win games. I mean, I had Necrozma Darksmane and then Solgaleo. I traded them partway through the thing. Obviously, they have similar defensive profiles, but that's because I really didn't have that many tricks to work with. But I felt like I never really was in a position where I was like, oh, I auto lose because my opponent has a Zacian. Generally, it was more the teams that they had around them that was really the question. So it was like, it was a different mentality, but it was a question of how you're trying to support the mods that you're going for. And I mean, I think my kill leader wound up being Spectre, not Solgaleo, but.
That's fair. Like the restricteds definitely don't auto win games. What I found that they did was make it so that like a couple hundred mons just became unusable in a lot of the time because they just like couldn't keep up with the power level because they couldn't survive a Kyogre water spout even if it wasn't super effective. You just can't bring the slightly frailer mons because they just die.
I think it does more than just like render a bunch of mons obsolete in the format. I mean, I guess it definitely does that to an extent, but I think what it did more so is it changed the way that you have to prep and think about the battles because it becomes more of a like, okay, like each team has this like just super overpowered piece. Like, how are you gonna play around that? It's not just like, okay, I have this, this generated like, or this foreseen way that I'm gonna win. Like, it's more so like you don't have this one or this balanced team you can go in with each week. You really have to like get creative with how you play around.
It forms like a whole meta around it, like how in Uber's like unaware mons like Quagsire or Clefable are all like so much better than they are in other formats purely just because the mons in like the upper formats are so strong and they're specifically there to counter them.
Right.
Those mons, they just centralize everything, and that's what I found was the problem with it. But it's definitely more entertaining than past formats with when it was like Gen 7 with the restricteds. I hated watching that.
You go and watch Chalk each and every game.
Yeah, well, I mean, Chalk was definitely not thinking Gen 7 as much. But like Gen 7, I liked what they did with Gen 7 because that was the first thing where they released like effectively what the series we had, because you had Sun Series, Moon Series, and Ultra Series. And in Sun Series, you had restricteds, but you didn't have any Z moves or Megas or Ultra Necrozma or Primals. And then in Moon, they brought back Z moves except for Ultra Necrozma. And then in Ultra, they brought back everything. And I thought that was a very interesting way. I really enjoyed playing that format, actually. It was my first big like main VGC format I focused on a lot.
I did as well. Like that first series in Gen 7 VGC, that's what kind of brought me into VGC a little bit, where it was just like, it was just you, and there were no like special gimmicks like Z moves. Like there was a thing like stupid like that they had to be aware of. Like you didn't know where it was or when it was coming. Like it was just the basic items that they saw.
I don't think Z moves are particularly overwhelming in VGC, mostly just because they can only target one slot.
Well, right.
But like I was really big on the fact that they got rid of like the primals and the megas and stuff, because I mean they were incredibly over centralizing and unfun in Gen 6 and 7 standard formats, let alone the restricted formats when you're adding in like Mega Rayquaza and the primals.
Yeah, that's a completely different thing.
The primals are definitely on like a whole different power level, just because their weather abilities are.
You can completely render a fire move, like just like it doesn't do anything to your entire side, like just because of torrential downpour, or like the opposite for water moves, like that's too strong.
Like I said, literally no counterplay to that.
The only counterplay I have,
like having flying types. Well, yeah, you have counterplay. It's called having your own one.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
If you can't beat him, join him.
Amazing. That's great.
You have a gun. The other guy has a gun. Just
shoot first, or actually shoot second in the weather.
I mean, you saw teams that didn't use them, but that's because those teams generally relied heavily on like your Xerneas or your Veltals more so than they did on the like your Ultra Cosmo teams as well. But it's like, how do we defeat them? Either we have very cogent defensive answers to them, or we have very cogent offensive answers to them. But I do think Kyogre is more so an exception to the rule for how most restricteds play in draft and standard. Than most of them, because most of them do not have a broken spread move that could like Oko most teams. Though I don't think it's actually particularly good in draft, or at least it's not been in my experience. Kyogre seems to be very easy to play against. You just have to play against it.
You're lucky enough to have the right mons. I feel like some mons just like die.
Well, but I mean, ultimately, it's a question of like, if it's clicking Water Spout, then how do you stop it doing that? You click Fake Out and you hit it with another mon, and then they've just like lost their restricted.
See, I think it's cool to hear about VGC history, because I didn't do any competitive Pokemon until the pandemic. The WBE League with all the YouTubers, that's what taught me that competitive Pokemon was a thing. I only started doing draft leagues this year, so like I have no idea what competitive Pokemon is like without Dynamax. Like I'm sure it'll be fine, but I'm excited to see it change when the format changes.
Yeah.
I think
I just really don't want to see Megas come back. They were so unhealthy in VGC.
Well, I think the same could be. I'm kind of torn. Like, I thought Z moves were okay, but I feel like Dynamax is kind of the same way. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's just so overpowering.
Yeah, I mean, I think Z moves were never particularly incredible. They just like win more things. Like you had good Pokemon that got better because of it, and sometimes you had bad Pokemon that got access to like a coverage move because they got a Z ground off of Dig or like Fisher or something.
Mm-hmm.
But generally they just like made good Pokemon better, and then most of the Megas that were good were just like most of the good Megas in VGC, because VGC doesn't have the whole like tier format you do on Smogon, were just Salamence, which has already got like a strong Intimidate or whatever. Now it's a Mega Salamence and it's got like spread Hyper Voice that's Aerolate, and it's just completely insane and ridiculous. Or it's a Metagross, which was already an amazing Pokemon, had already won Worlds, and now it's even better, and like you have to run like a Z Fisher Gastrodon to have any chance of having counterplay to it. Like super aggressive.
Does not need any help. I don't know if there's a hot take or not, but I think it is the number one Pokemon in the VGC Series 7 Draft League meta.
I don't know if I would say it's number one, but it's very scary to play against. And even in non-max formats, it's very good.
Okay, so I'm gonna kind of channel this, and we're just gonna roll with this. What is your favorite combo that you've used, seen, or wanted to try in VGC? It doesn't have to be draft. It could just be like in general trying to play it on the ladder and just having fun with it. Vinny, go.
Go.
Okay, actually, I'll start. I'll let you guys. I'll give you guys a moment to think.
Well, I already know. As in, like, fun combination for VGC. the electric core. It's Regieleki and Tapu Koko because they're so strong with electric terrain and Regieleki already getting like a boost to electric attacks. Then you add a magnet, and then you add choice specs. Then you give it Electro Ball, and then it basically ignores type matchups. Like Regieleki is so strong with terrain and all of its other boosts that it just like OHKOs Regirock just for no reason.
Let me ask you this: would you rather have Regieleki in that combo or Raichu Alola in that combo? Because then
Regieleki.
because you're not stopped by ground, then you just rattle off a surf move.
I've
Well,
never
if you're
even
surfing,
tried Alolan Raichu. I have no idea what it does.
It's
Besides-
got it's got like Grass
I-
Knot,
I-
Grass Knot, Surf, Focus Blast, Psychic. You know,
Last gen, I had an IRL friend in the VGC area in my area who basically was obsessed with Alolan Raichu. So he would run like Coco Alolan Raichu. He'd run with like Lunala with Fling Berry and Weakness Policy, and like constantly like his things would always plan around using Alolan Raichu because obviously it's got Fake Out as well. So it's like it was just a very very predictable kind of mod to run into. It's a very
So we used it as a support mon rather than like when people just auto to put it to like Surge Surfer fast mon.
Well, I mean, he used it as Surge Surfer because it's the fastest Fake Out in the format, and
Yeah, that's
it's
what
the fastest like fling into your Lunala. It's got Fake Out so that Lunala can set off Tailwind, etc.
That's a cool combo.
it is.
Yeah, I mean, obviously support restricteds aren't a thing in Series 8 because you only get one restricted, whereas in last gen and previous gens, obviously not Gen 5 because it didn't have a restricted format, but you would generally have like support restricted whose job was like defensively check stuff instead of just being like your offensive win condition.
What are
Sort
some
of
examples of like a supportive restricted?
Well, I mean, like Lunala or Zekrom or Reshiram with Tailwind was a very big one. Just like having speed control sort of ones as well was a big thing. But then you also saw like Mega Rayquaza just for because it gave it removed opposing weather.
Yeah, how many mons got Tailwind last generation? I think Game Freak probably did the right thing, saying, "Hey, maybe not every flying type should have Tailwind."
Every single generation except for like Gen 8 that's had a VGC format has had move tutors, and Tailwind's always been a move tutor, which is generally introduced like halfway through a gen when they have like your Platinum, your Black 2, White 2, your Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, your Auras. But we never had that in this gen, so we've never had like, man, halfway through the season, now everything gets Tailwind.
Maybe we'll get there with the third DLC.
I mean, they also kind of did that for singles, thankfully, with all the toxic distribution. So it's not just everyone gets it. It's maybe half of everyone gets it now.
Well, I mean, only like a couple months actually learn it by level up, right? And it was only Pokemon that learned it by level up. Like, I think the
Seems
only
like
two
it's really
Pokemon
learning.
in Gen 8
so.
that learn Toxic are Toxtricity and Eternatus.
Yeah, it's the poison types, you know, and they can only get it through level up, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's just not a TM anymore. No more. That's right. You guys were all being too TM06. They had to remove it. My fun combination is something I enjoyed using, probably more than I should have last gen. In the Sun format was Groudon and Cherim, because Cherim effectively gives a 1.5x boost to Groudon, and I would combine it with like a gravity support and a choice band, and then just spam Precipice Blades with effectively, what's it like, 2.25x Precipice Blades. It's
That
pretty
is
fun.
nutty.
It was not very good, but it was fun.
85% of the time, it works every time.
85% of the time, twice. And also not into any grass types. And you just gotta hope that they don't have to go.
Well,
No,
I think
it-
I've
it-
thought of mine. Oh, sorry, SunSun.
Yeah.
I've
If
thought
you
up of.
Go ahead.
Where you going? My bad. So I've thought
He's
up of
kidding.
my combo so that I've actually used this in SPS last week versus Daniel. It's the, well, it's two of them. It's the double rounds, which was something I really wanted to try, like since seeing like the Wolfie videos with like the insane Porygon Z.
Spoiler!
rounds.
Spoiler!
Wow,
I'm
sorry.
just kidding. I'm just kidding.
And then, I mean, I did it with Persian and Cinderace though, because the match was interesting. And then the pledges combos I think are really cool. The one that the pledge combo I had on my team was very underwhelming, but still cool.
Because
So
you
those
have
are my
fire and
favorite.
water, right?
Yeah, Fire Water is not good.
You can make a rainbow.
That means everything gets Serene Grace, right?
Yeah.
Can we talk about Vini's match with Daniel? It was completely absurd. I loved it.
We're just touching on it. We'll talk more about it later. We're still on the combos.
Yeah, Vini and Daniel was like, let's be as ridiculous as we can be, where like Chimpact and I was like, let's try hard as we possibly can. And, I think unfortunately the way Chimpact and I played is probably where the Draft League meta is going when we get to hot takes. Long game. Buckle up, everybody. Long games are about to happen.
I would say for my combo, I really enjoyed back in Gen 7, the first series. I really enjoyed Tapu Lele and Drifloon, where you get the Psychic Seed instead of Tailwind right away. And just the Psychic spam in that generation was so strong. I remember using that and just a lot of things just couldn't really deal with it. So
that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, Lele Drifloon is a very cool combo. I remember last gen, I think it was like the Multi-Battle League, I think it was, which was like the closest thing you had to like a YouTuber VGC League. You always saw like Lele Bloom go in one of the things. It was quite fun.
That was with Aaron and Wolfglick, right? I think they were the one who had it.
Yeah, well, it went every season, but I think they did have it in season 3. Yeah.
Multi-Battle League was very cool. I remember watching it. But yeah, Drift Bloom overall is a really cool mon with terrain, any of the terrains. But I think that Flare Boost is something that is obviously bad, but it'd be fun to see used more.
It'd be fun to see it on a Pokemon that has a decent special attack stat.
Wolfie used Flare Boost in
WB,
didn't he?
Yeah, but it was like 1 week. My point being is
not
a great set.
I mean, like
Drifloon is like the perfect mon for Draft League. As in, none of the stuff it does is quite strong enough to beat like the meta, like Urshifu and Regieleki. But it does so many different things reasonably well that it's perfect for Draft League, where teams aren't quite as strong.
Definitely underutilized, but it's just not got good stats, and the typing is not too great.
Yeah.
I mean, the typing is okay. One Pokemon I'd really like to see released this gen is Oricorio, because I think it would be quite fun.
Right.
I really like the fact that it's like a ghost flying that's actually pretty strong.
Yeah. Does Drifloon get like roleplay or entrainment or something like that, or where it can like?
I don't think it does.
Well, it's got strength tap, I guess.
It's got strength tap.
Well, I'm wondering if I could like put a flame orb on like something just stupidly strong with a high special attack set, and then
skill swap.
Just it can just. Does it have speed swap?
It does not skill swap. It does not learn roleplay or entrainment, but it does learn skill swap.
Okay, so we could use Drifloon, Flare Boost, along with a. So we'll go with it. You could just go Tapu Koko, I guess, or Tapu Lele, right?
If someone in VGC wants to pick up Drifloon and try this stuff for the next podcast, we would be down.
Check it out. Let
Wait,
us know.
is Drifloon available right now?
Yep, undrafted. I checked.
Huh. Someone pick up Drifloon.
This is trade deadline is tomorrow. Well, we're at the time we're recording this, it's tomorrow at midnight. So.
Unoptimal.
So we'll have to drop a hint in the chat there. But all right. So that's favorite combo. Let's see here. What do you prefer more, or what do you enjoy more, VGC or singles?
I'll go right off the bat and say singles. VGC is definitely the most enjoyable side format I've played, other than maybe like low tier. But like I did not like Little Cup. I'm not a fan of like Ubers and stuff. But VGC's been quite enjoyable. But for me, it doesn't rival singles because I started there and I've always been there.
I personally, I play. I feel like I've only been playing a little bit of VGC, so like I just like started drafting for like my third actual VGC league, so I can't say that it will necessarily thing. But like in terms of like, and actually playing a format in tournament, I much preferred VGC to singles. And then in terms of like, I'm really enjoying VGC draft right now. So I probably will say that I prefer that, but I've played a lot more singles draft.
Never even played singles, so I have no idea. I mean, I've been playing like competitive board games. I jump from 1 to 1 for like a decade now, and VGC is just the latest one. But that's all I know in terms of competitive Pokemon. It's beautiful chaos. Some days I hate it. Most days I love it.
I would say that I don't know. Like I love the. I think VGC it's just a different kind of cerebral. Like it's definitely more like I think it's more like.
I mean, yeah.
It's a marathon, not a sprint. More like I think singles is more like I compare singles more to like a sprint, whereas VGC is more like the distance races in track and field. Where like
yeah, I mean, I think that there's so much more. It's so much more fun to prep for VGC, but I generally find prep to be like the most enjoyable part of playing it. Prepping for VGC means you have to really take into mind a lot of combinations, which is I think really cool and really interesting. Versus how you like prep for singles. It's like okay, they only have one mod in front of me. You can only do one thing.
Yeah,
if you're against a good team and a good coach, I feel like safe prep is almost impossible in VGC. There's just so many possible things that can happen from turn 1 into multiple turns. It's just like at some point you're like, I need to stop analyzing scenarios and just click a button.
And that's where like I think it's definitely interesting because like game 1 is never like you have to win this or you lose the game. Like singles is. It's not like there's only one chance to win the week. Like game 1 is usually like if you can win it, it's great, but for the most part, it's used as just like a data gathering to help you get into a better position for games 2 and 3.
Yeah, I find a lot of times, like from my experience, it's a lot of watching a lot of other people who win or people who lose game 1 oftentimes like win the whole series, and I found that experience for myself because when you lose, you have the most. Or you find that you have the most to grow on for the next game, and you're looking for every all bit of information to prepare for the second game, and oftentimes it just reverses back into a win for the person who lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the stuff, especially if you're like losing to like techs and stuff you didn't expect or know about in the first game, you can really adapt. I also think that like, in terms of like the best of 3 format, and the 44 makes it really interesting in terms of the decision making you have to do and how you can adapt between games, which is just not something that you ever get the chance to do in singles.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Sonny?
Well, I don't really have any VGC experience or doubles experience for that matter, so I don't really think I can answer that. At
So
all.
what you're telling me is you're signing up for VGC next season.
Sonny for VGC.
Yeah, if I don't win this season, I'll be running VGC with Hacker Killer.
Maybe I'll join you guys down there, and then we can finally play, and I'll lose to you.
We're gonna hold them accountable to that.
We got to see. We have to see Sun VGC. This is what we need to see.
VG Sonny.
We'll see.
Very
We'll see.
All
I'll
right.
definitely need a lot of help with those games.
All right. Let's see here. You got a VGC related question, Sonny?
No, not really. We can
All right.
probably jump into the games.
All right, let's do it. Well, actually, let's get a quick sneak peek at the Pick'ems leaderboard. You got
You're looking
me.
to gloat here.
Yeah, a little bit of humble gloating.
I want to see how I performed because I've just always put the left slot
I guess-
for every game that's not my own.
I guess I'll just
So
share my screen. Why not? That might be the best way to do it, huh?
I just opened up the top.
Let's
I
see.
only remember the top 3, which is Hawk, then myself, and Jolt tied in 2nd and 3rd. So.
I'm 15th.
So yeah, a little
I
bit
am
of
49.2%.
humble brag. Nobody knows your server like the owner, right?
You actually win by quite a big margin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's because he's rigging the matches.
True.
Right.
I've been making some crazy predictions to try and hopefully catch up. Although I should honestly I'm happy with the Nitro because I have something I want to do with it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, top 3 get Nitro.
The surprise?
And
You'll
winner
see.
gets Nitro plus the Sky Pillar Seer roll. So there's definitely some incentive to perform.
Okay, I need to really start like predicting.
Yeah, you need
I
to.
will say it's interesting. So I've been like doing effectively what is a coin toss every game, and yet I somehow have not gotten 50%. So is a coin toss not 50%?
For those that are good at tossing coins.
Sometimes
true,
they can
that's true.
land on the side, so you gotta count for those.
Yeah, there is a third
Yeah,
option.
that's the 0.8% I haven't gotten.
Yep.
It's enough coin.
Like the games where I've been voting for myself.
Math.
So.
All right. That's enough bragging for now. All I gotta say is
Where's Jordan and Son, have you been doing predicts
let's
yourself?
see here. Well, I know John did a few,
I
right?
feel like, how do you know? I don't even know singles, but
Oh.
even like unless I'm gonna bother analyzing the matchup, like it's just a guess. Like
John would-
whose name do I like the sound of better?
If John would play
Robin is on there
all of
twice.
them, he's doing pretty good.
So has
I
John
just-
been doing
yeah.
everything minus VGC? Is
Yeah, I
what he's
think
doing?
No, I think he's just been doing Lugia.
No, he does more than Lugia.
Does he?
He's definitely done more than Lugia to have predicted that many games.
Okay.
Let me just look at Pick'ems. I'll see if he's predicted.
He
That's a
does
lot
like
of
random people, I think.
Yeah.
That he might know.
You played at all, SunSun?
I've never done pick'ems here. It's just, not. I guess I don't really like doing pick'ems when it concerns myself, unless there's something I say.
Yeah, I mean, I don't find Pick'ems to be super. Like, I like doing like playoff predictions sort of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The
But
brackets,
like
yeah.
in terms of actual Pick'ems, I don't find them particularly fun. Which is why I've just been doing the left thing. And, like,
Yeah, in playoffs, there's only like 2 or 4 games, so you can actually look at matchups.
Yeah. That's fair.
yeah. I mean, I like the ability to like make like a playoff picture video and like go in depth on all the games and who you think's gonna win and how do you think it's like, because I find that pretty enjoyable, being able to like go over games that they played before. But I feel like Pick'ems is not like.
It's definitely like a coin toss each one.
Yeah, as a fan of other esports, it's like when you get to the brackets point and it's like at that point where you're making like a whole prediction bracket, it's so satisfying and
I wonder
super
who has
fun.
like actually been predicting and has like the lowest prediction like success rate.
Let's see here.
It's looking
I feel like that's just as
MK,
much of a feat as having a high success rate, right?
John.
MK is 193 predicts and they have 48.2. I don't
Yeah,
think
but-
you don't see anyone else with that like high rate of predictions.
Honestly, even if you're confident in a matchup, sometimes it's just luck to
sometimes
draw.
Dracovish crits Katana, you know.
Yeah,
Exactly.
there's the hacks in Pokemon, and then there's the player possibly having an off game. There's like they could prep crazy one time,
Yeah.
like me versus Daniel, like prep crazy. Like there's so many factors going into it that like even if you predict and you're like predicting correctly based on standings, you're not gonna do amazingly well because it's
Let's
Pokemon.
see if I
It's
pick
crazy.
you versus
You know,
Daniel correctly.
Maybe
did not
maybe I'll
choose you versus
maybe I'll
Daniel.
pick him for one game and just get 100%.
Well, there you go.
I'm pretty
If you
sure
get it wrong, though?
there are a couple people who've done that. Oh, there's a very powerful person who's break for 2 games and has 100%.
Too bad it only
Oh, there's
counts.
someone with 3 games who has 100%.
Too bad
Who's
it's
that?
only, it only counts for
That's
the amount that
Ice.
you get right. So
Yeah, I mean, I assume that Ice has only been predicting their own games, and they've won those games that they predicted.
Well, they played
They
more
only
than
predicted
3
3
games, so I don't know.
they
Yeah,
just didn't. They
they've
just
only-
didn't
they've
predict the
only
games that they
predicted the
knew
ones
they'd
they won.
lose.
Exactly. That's how you keep the 100%.
Right. It's all about the streak.
Exactly. It's very powerful.
Yes.
Either that, or they've been jobbing longer than we
Credit.
realized.
The unsaid story of Pokemon is that like we try to come up with patterns because we're humans and we like to do that, but like a lot of Pokemon is chaos, right? A great player can absolutely go like 2-7, and a average player can totally have a great run. Anything can happen.
Absolutely.
And so we like to just pretend like, oh, we're 2 weeks in, like I'm 2-0, so I'm amazing. But like, no, you're not, not necessarily. And like I'm on a losing streak now, but it doesn't mean I'm any worse than I was a few weeks ago.
Exactly. I mean, a great player could become a victim of, like their Zacian just missing more play roughs than it actually hits in a VGC season.
Yeah.
Just
It
like
sounds familiar.
some things like that. Just unforeseen events.
This game teaches me about mentality, as like a competitive gamer in general, like just handling the fact that sometimes you can do your best and like you'll just randomly lose. I mean, so in our game, sometimes it is literal randomness, but sometimes it's just like you made the wrong read, but it's not indicative at all of like how good you are as a player. And you just have to trust in yourself, knowing that the short-term results are just noise. You have no idea whether your strategy is working or not.
Right. You can build your team to minimize luck as much as possible, but sometimes you're just gonna get frozen 2 times in a row, and you're just gonna have nothing
I mean,
left to do.
Yep.
Right?
On
There's
the
also
other
the
hand,
thing,
yeah.
like, you can run Flamethrower over Fire Blast, but if Flamethrower never gets the KO, and Fire Blast gets the KO 85% of the time, I mean, it's still technically better. Or no,
True.
Flamethrower gets it if it crits, right? Like you can run Scope Lens Snipe Shot with a 50% crit chance, and then you just click every move and not get a single crit, even though you clicked it like 5 times. You know,
It's a coin flip.
it happens.
And still
You
win
can get
2-0.
rock slide flinched when you get rock slide flinched when you go for focus
They say
energy.
it's like 50%, but like, sometimes it's just not. That's just not how.
That's how probability
Out.
works.
Because like sometimes the
there's
coin
0 or
just lands
100.
on its side, right? You know,
I mean,
we come
there's a
full circle.
50% chance that I hit Stone Edge. You know, it hits or it doesn't.
Yeah.
Two
Yeah, I
outcomes.
think it's probably an uncomfortable truth that in VGC you could probably win slightly more games than you lose by just spamming like Sing and Lovely Kiss and just like random
Electric with
majority
James.
of the time you
The
shut down your
rule of thumb in VGC is that when you're over 70% consistency, then you are succeeding at tournament. I think it's like 72% is the rate where if 72% of the time it does this, then you're winning that tournament. That is like the rule of thumb that I taught and that I was taught and that I learned when I was starting to learn VGC back in 2018. So that's what I've gone off of, and that's why Smeagol ran Lovely Kiss a lot last gen, because it was over 70% accurate, which means that in the best of 3 in a tournament, that's consistent enough to get you 0-2, question mark and 2 onto the next round into the playoffs. So that's why I've always been a big fan of Lovely Kiss. I mean, like Smeagol legitimately ran it as its sleep move of choice after it lost off world.
Interesting.
Because otherwise goggles and grass types exist, and being able to like sleep a Crobat so that it can't like taunt you the next turn when it's picking Tailwind up is like pretty solid.
Yeah.
The only game that's even comparable in my game playing history to just like the insane amounts of variance is poker.
Oh no!
The World Series of Poker, absolutely anyone can go on an insane run of getting the right calls and win the millions, and that's nice. It's a good story.
Yeah, poker's
Slumdog Millionaire.
that's
No, what's it
definitely
called?
a different
Do you
game.
want to be a millionaire? Very high variance game.
You want to play a game where the better player always wins? Play chess.
Yep.
SPS Poker Night win.
If you want to play a game where the better player always wins, except for if they are playing black, play chess.
Yes.
Even chess has an advantage. Yeah.
Well, let's hop into the Sky Player Spice candidates, right? Let's I'm just looking at the first one on my screen right now. We're gonna
Oh wait,
take a dive into
Isn't the,
Zapdos.
isn't the rule of chess the best player always ties?
So
Draws?
theoretically, I guess, if you're playing black versus white, if you tie that game, you're technically,
Yeah.
I guess,
But
up.
in terms of score, tying as black, it gives you an advantage in score versus tying as white, and winning as black gives you an advantage in score versus winning as white in chess tournaments.
I've never played chess competitively, but I can see that. Like if I'm black, I'm just trying to tie so I can win my game. I'm in a better position.
Yeah, it's like too many. I like Magnus recently. Magnus is like I never really got too much into chess, but sometimes I follow chess because I got friends who do, and like Magnus was having a tournament where he kept tying as white, and like people are like, oh, I mean, he's just been tying. He hasn't been losing many games. But I mean, drawing as white is when you're supposed to be like the best player in the world. Is obviously not what you want to be doing. Yeah.
All right. We've got our first Spice candidate. We've got Euthnic and Zapdos against Jammin. And I don't remember what the tech was here, but
You'll notice it. You'll notice it right away, and it will be very familiar if you watched probably this first podcast.
we're just gonna go fast. Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Is there a copycat mod? There is a copycat mod.
No.
Who did it better,
no.
guys?
Oh, yeah.
Bagel John
okay.
or Euthnic?
I gotta say Nick because he actually. Oh well,
Well, we'll see.
we'll see. I
I
reserve
think
my
Envy
opinion.
did it better, but sure.
Oh, gets the poison first time.
Gets the poison first time. I am so sick of the move triple axle because I keep clicking it, getting one hit or not hitting at all. Even when I'm wide lens, and then my opponents always get 3 hits. Sometimes I even crit one of them.
Is that right?
The only
Specs? Because it's hitting like a
The only
triple.
time
I
they have a
imagine
bunch.
it's specs because
It shouldn't be doing that
there's
much to
no,
flashes.
Yeah,
Oh, no,
those are
yeah.
some very weird pivots around it, but that's an unfortunate para.
Because there's no electric resist at all.
No.
It's like,
Yeah, that's an interesting decision to make on their behalf, not bringing electric resist.
You
I
should be
can't believe they
amazing
didn't
in
run
draft.
Baneful Bunker on Toxapex when they were playing Victini. Like, Baneful Bunker is just such a good move against Victini because it covers the final gambit, but it also covers for every other set that it runs.
The Toxapex hard switched in on it, so they never got an
Oh,
opportunity.
you're right, it did.
it was predicting fire move, so it makes
Yeah.
sense.
Or mid-grinding on U-turn if it's helmet.
Right, yeah.
So
It's
they go
like, I
Fortress
think-
for a safe sack. I'm surprised they didn't go Gujar there for differential.
Well,
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say now that I think Nick did it better because he actually won the game.
Oh, good point.
Wait, did John pull off a double final gambit and then lose the game?
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
He pulled it
I
off.
think I-
almost.
I think I've got to go with John purely for the fact that he did it first, and also the fact that he did it with a Blissey.
I mean, it's just the envy comp, right? Like,
That's
Big
fair.
info.
That's fair.
Now-
He did have the balls to do it first.
my favorite one is the
I do think
Using
context
Clutch Ball
matters.
as well.
Obviously, when you try to do double final gambit, you're trying to play hyper aggressive. You're trying to speed up the game, like, and put on a lot of pressure, right?
Yeah, you want to be doing it with like a breaker like a Specs Riker or whatever, or like the
Right.
offensive Venusaur, which we saw.
It
That's how
definitely would have worked in theory if there was like a ground type, because the idea is just you get rid of the ground type so then Specs Raikou can go in. But obviously in this matchup, it didn't really matter because Specs Raikou's just still went in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, I
Spec
mean, it was,
was gonna one-shot the Toxapex either way.
it got rid of Pex for offensive Venusaur as well, which was very important.
Sure. But I don't think Pex can do much to Venusaur anyways, and it gets Earth Power.
Yep.
You can stall it out, which is the most
Yeah.
annoying thing.
In this
Yeah.
case,
If you get burnt, that's really annoying.
it was a cool tech, except the
Yeah.
Mon that ended up winning them the game. It didn't matter that the Mons that went down to the final gambits were.
Yeah.
It was nice the Cobalion went down. It probably took a
If
hit.
Cobalion had gotten rocks up, it would have been kind of bad, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool stuff. What do we got next? We got some good stuff from Lugia division. Saving the
HJ
VGC.
Sean.
Yeah. This one's spicy.
You'll notice a theme of double ups with a lot of these ones.
Save the VGC stuff for last. The best for last. We
Yeah.
got Sean versus Fist Your Doom.
Yeah, very good, favorable lead matchup.
Singles is already essentially a
get the
different
power.
game in VGC,
Yes.
and so when you're running through it in fast motion, I have no idea what to say. So I'm just gonna sit back and watch.
All right.
We can slow
I
down.
always
We can
I always
slow
click
down.
hyper fast when I
We
watch
go normal.
replays. It doesn't matter what format it is.
DD Gyarados.
Not 1v1.
Unfortunate miss.
I'm curious, why was he running? Is there a specific Pokemon he was running Stone Edge for?
This element's out.
Harvey
Nets.
No, but I'm just saying that was like left on the bench because it would be more optimal to run something else. But I assume that Sean has a reason because he's a very smart guy and he's doing very well.
What move would have been more optimal to hit Salamence? I don't
Ice
think
Fang.
Owl.
Ice Fang?
Yeah.
I mean, Ice Fang is doing less damage.
No, it does more because it's 4 times effective.
No, it's.
Hmm.
Oh wait. No, you're right. It does slightly more. It does.
So here we got a belly drum.
Spinach is base
Google.
200 effectively, and Ice Fang is base 220 effectively.
Yeah,
Except
let's,
I wanted to
not
mention
much.
that he did miss Eevee's Clefable because he should be at 51% after the belly drum.
yeah.
Unacceptable.
Well, did he have a berry
Very
to go with
powerful
it or no?
No, he didn't.
Oh. I wonder what his
But
item
still.
was.
I lost a game because I forgot that Salamence is the only flying move
Double
that doesn't fly.
belly drum. What's better than one belly drum? A
Two,
double.
bro.
Also faster than an Umbreon. Just
Slow Umbreon is
casually.
was not the play there.
Would that
The
Diamond
missed
Storm
diamond
have killed?
storm. It mattered in differential, I think, but
Yeah.
in the gram.
He also could have
scheme-
maybe got a defense boost.
Yeah, but I don't think you live. Mega DNs is
Oh right, this is a victim of back when Gluttony didn't work properly on sports.
Right.
Yeah,
Also,
there
it
was
would
a
have
period.
it would have lived anyway. So, I guess that missed
We got
kind of
33%.
evened out the sports having a bug.
Shout outs to
So-
Gen 1 movesets, like Gyarados has Earthquake.
a mold
I mean,
breaker.
most. I guess the only other water flying type is Mantine, right?
No, there's so many
Pelipper.
water
There
flying.
are
Pelipper,
Cramorant.
Cramorant.
Pelipper gets Earthquake, doesn't it?
Oh, you're saying the ones that get earthquake?
No, I don't think Mantine gets Earthquake. Just
I
Pelipper
don't.
No,
gets
I know.
Earthquake?
Mantine
I know
does
that they
get
get
Earthquake.
gunk shot though. The Pelipper
Oh,
with
they
like
all get
Mantine
gunk
gets
shot.
earthquake. That makes no sense, but it does.
Pelipper does not get Gunk Shot. Sorry, does not get
Mant-
Earthquake. It does get Gunk
Mantine?
Shot. They all get Gunk Shot except for Gyarados.
Mantine gets earthquake. Trust me on this. I think it happened.
Mantine gets
I
Earthquake?
can actually see
Yeah,
that
it
though.
does.
'Cause It's like
It does.
It's not a Gen 1 moveset problem. Every water flying type should get Earthquake.
But
That's
it's a
just because Gen 2 is the
two.
one with all the crazy TMs.
Yeah,
It
we're
has
gonna
rock blast too. It has random moves like
I want to
Seed
see.
Bomb.
I want to see a banded Mantine that's running Earthquake, Flip Turn, and Rock Blast.
All of you
and-
to assume it gets flip turn.
It doesn't get flipped
It
out.
doesn't. Oh, I thought it did.
I was using it in RU before. If only it got flip turn,
Ooh.
it
That
wouldn't
would've
be.
been very nice.
It wouldn't be
That-
bad. No, it
It would
actually
be
be
really
decent.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very specially bulky.
Why was there no Mega Mantine with the secondary Dark typing?
Oh.
I
They
asked you
missed-
this
They
game.
missed an opportunity. All right.
Oh wait, no. I guess it would have been a bit too dark.
Oh,
to
not
do it
VGC
on
yet.
Evo.
Not VGC.
Not VGC yet. We have to watch Bowser versus Wombat. We have to watch a Wombat.
There wasn't much cool tech, but it's just an interesting game.
There
in my
was-
opinion.
There was one. Wait,
An
there was one
interesting
more in
one.
Zapdos, I think.
All right.
Wasn't
Well,
there?
people who know singles, you'll have to point out like a key play that I can actually try to
Okay.
understand.
I'll
Um,
try and do that for you.
So you see,
I don't know.
they
I don't
brought
remember
Licky
if
Lift.
Kyle actually can show his game, but you know, Kyle gets in there.
Where's the
Maybe
Licky Licky
differently,
copy
Kyle.
pasta?
Yeah.
It's Sean's week this time.
You what? You think we should show it?
Nah.
Wait,
Well,
give
we
me a
can
second
show
to read out
this-
the
we don't have to show
Licky
Kyle.
Licky copy pasta. I can't find it. Oh no.
You can play this right now.
All right. So we got Bowser and Wombat and Articuno division. I don't remember what the
Oh,
spice was.
okay, that's why.
So you notice that Scarf Zapdos right off the bat clicking U-turn versus the Noivern. And the
Yep.
Noivern gets slow momentum, which is something you don't often see.
Rillaboom comes in, which it's
Brings in
a
Weezing, yeah.
seed, actually.
Yeah, that's a great bait, because Weezing's a very good counter into Rillaboom, except this Subseed set,
Oh.
so good to it.
Sub is underexplored in VGC. I think it should be good against Dynamax.
What is sorry?
Substitute. You can just
Yeah,
stall
yeah,
out
sub.
Dynamax.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you saw a lot of it
Oh.
in Series 8, like especially you saw it on
Basically
So,
Zacian
Heligo
only,
and Storm
but I feel like
Zacian?
so many other mons should be able to take advantage of it besides.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I liked seeing when we saw like occasionally steal up a lot of Nihiligos running sub in Series 7, Series 8. I thought it was very interesting.
But then the
I never
Zapdos
thought
should
about
click
that,
U-turn
yeah.
here, and let's see if he clicks Sub again. That's my question, because if he clicks
Or if
Sub
it
again,
clicks
that's a great
Leech,
play.
I would
That's a good
leech
play
that.
too. Yeah, either play was good. That was
Yep.
a good play.
This is like one way Rillaboom can beat G Weezing, because you just sub-C stall, you even knock. You can't even recover with your grassy terrain because it's floating.
How else does it? How else does it beat it? Like I guess. I mean, I don't think it even
Facade.
beats it with
High
hyper.
horsepower
Oh,
if it's like gas or whatever. But I mean, like
right,
if
but it's
you're-
never gonna be gas against.
Yeah.
So for Jordan, that's a meaningful turn because the Licky is now getting chipped, and we'll see what that sets up for late game. Because the Licky is
Yeah.
a mon that's stopping a lot of the special attackers. Because he
I
has
think
5
they
special
like
attackers.
wall.
This really
I mean,
is just
ultimately this,
annoying his entire team.
how much PP does the Rilla have right now?
Let's see here. It's got a full bladder.
Yeah, so it's down to 12 leeches and 11 subs. So there's
12
definitely
leeches is fine. You're never gonna be clicking it 12 more times.
No. Oh, I remember what the.
well, yeah, not if you're only
This
11
protect.
subs.
Pretty sure he was scouting for a trick.
And
That
that's
makes
another
sense.
big turn where he gets a Toxic on the Licky, because again, the Licky's like the very big defensive mon that's stopping those 5 special attackers from breaking through this team.
And also keeping Dougie Dim healthy throughout the game.
Yeah, so Rillaboom isn't a huge threat. Although Rilla is not the biggest threat versus this team into mons like Zapdos and Laddie based on its set that we've seen.
This is crucial. 'cause
Yeah,
this
okay,
week-
there we go. There's no longer a Licky Licky in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, Licky just gone like that.
Yeah. But now you get to switch in Rockstar. Please,
Does he go for the Ice Beam?
You might go flip turn.
Oh my god.
That's okay. I'm not a fan of Flip Turn though. It just
flip
doesn't
turn
really.
would have OK'd or would have KO'd the
But now look at the Brave Bird switch in, there isn't one.
right there.
I mean, in the sense of is there a Brave switch in? There is one. Yeah, when they still have a full health unaware Clefable, it's pretty.
If that wasn't a Scarf, it would break that.
It
but-
might be.
If
Yeah,
it was banned,
unaware.
yeah.
It's boots. It's definitely unaware.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
It could be cute charm. We don't know.
Oh, you're right.
Now reveal flamethrower.
Flamethrower doesn't actually thaw.
Oh, it just loses.
It's just so
Clefable
dumb.
a
That's
bit.
just like just like the freeze mechanic. Game Freak needs to fix
See, I don't know
flamethrower.
why
Like,
he switched right there.
If you
I
look
don't-
at the chat, I remember reading this. He thought he didn't see the life orb somehow and thought it was banded based on the damage. So he
Right.
sacked his camel.
oh.
Gotta happen.
I
Back
assume
to
that's because it was I assume that's because it was adamant Zeraora that he thought it was.
Yeah,
you
adamant
say,
life orb
um,
equates to ban.
Not having a grounded poison type is not a good idea.
here he sacks the.
On both
Mhm.
ends. Neither of them, because they both have levitate.
Yeah.
Right, but
Mhm.
only,
But,
I,
I mean,
I don't think
we've
Wombat
seen-
had a T-Spiker.
We've seen can run like Misty Terrain or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh. So like
Although-
it can function as a grounded poison, and Haunter literally cannot function as a grounded poison. Ah, look there! They scolded to Thor the Clefable. What a nice,
Right.
what a nice words.
He sacks the.
Please tell me you have ice beam.
sacks the-
Okay. So if he clicked this ice beam last time when the Rillaboom came in instead of going for flip turn, he would have gotten like he would have been safe if the opponent had stayed in because he had the wish up. Instead, the wish did nothing going into Zapdos, but he would have
Right.
gone progress into the Rillaboom. You know, I think it would have KO'd the camera up after that and the turn of Toxic Poison.
But
So
now
I think
that
the ice beam there was definitely the play they need to make.
And now they
Yeah,
let the
you're
Rilla
definitely
down,
right
but
on
it's done its job. It's destroyed the Weezing's HP. It's destroyed so many other Pokemon's HP. Got rid of the Blastoise. The Zapdos is chunked now, and it's
Yeah,
gonna set up for the
absolutely.
endgame.
That's true.
Oh man.
I mean, it knocked off the Weezing, which was massive.
that. Now he's going for the pain split, and it's just plain. It's not getting
It's
much
playing the
back.
Haunter.
Yeah.
I I mean, Haunter is not
Actually, at
exactly
this point, yeah.
It's being like a Dragapult here. We need baby.
I like using the Haunter and Ghastly because they're like surprisingly good for what they are.
That's kind of like Abra and Kadabra too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
I think it's less
very
true for Abra than it is for Ghastly because it doesn't provide the like ground immunity. So like when you're immune to 3 types, you have some defensive niche even if you're very frail.
Right.
But I do like Kadabra as well. I like it on like with like an Indeedee or a Lele.
And then Haunter
And
just comes in.
this comes down to
Haunter
Scarf
sweet,
Haunter versus Scarf Zapdos.
and the Scarf Zapdos is going to be slower because it's adamant.
And, yep.
Yep.
That was cool.
Haunter outsped?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
didn't. So Bowser obviously
It's
did
adamant.
nothing to outspeed
To
a
crit a
Haunter
yeah.
with
That was definitely adamant damage into the Clefable as well.
Yeah.
So it was definitely.
Yep. No, that was cool. There were two pretty cool things. The Scarf Haunter
I,
being shown off there, and then
I
that
thought
Rillaboom set is specifically. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was quite interesting. That was definitely very fun to watch.
Yeah.
So
we got?
So
now
George,
we
do you
on
feel like
to
you're learning from osmosis how to singles?
Exactly. Yep. All right. Now we're getting to the VGC stuff, the goodies. Let's
I
let's,
don't think we link them.
let's just
do you want me to grab them so you don't just like follow
we
through them?
can just go to the dock.
We can look at the doc and see that I think the doc's still not updated, so I'm in second in standings.
Sorry, some of the games this week.
Oh, can we not look the standings?
Oh wait,
Let's look at
are the
very
replay
top
links
standings.
going to be in the doc?
Yeah,
Not
the latest
the-
is
yeah,
not
If
in there yet.
they've been
The
updated.
last
so-
few weeks.
Very powerful second in standings before I got completely destroyed.
All right, yeah.
6.
So we'll look at weeks 4 through 5, and then we'll go to week 6 for this week's game. In the Discord.
I mean, Jordan, you're very close to making playoffs. It's fine.
All right, let's see here. What do we got here? Which games do we want to watch first?
I thought the games weren't we highlighting Chimpact versus Jordan and then myself versus Daniel were the major ones we were highlighting.
That's
We
true.
should watch my game versus Vini.
No, thank you.
Where is the Chimpact game? That one's week 6, wasn't it? Chimpact Jordan. Yep. Okay. So was yours. Were there any in week 5 that we wanted to watch?
We can watch my game versus Vini. Or was that week 4? That was week 5, right? Yeah.
5.
There we go.
Because 4 I got a forfeit win.
Team liquidation, round 1, round 2.
Should we watch that one?
Yeah. Let's
Sure,
let's
maybe you
watch
guys can give me some
Go ahead.
pointers to how to not win. So, I remember this vividly. So, game 1, I was leading, and I did not want to lead into
Before we
Jinx. That was the
start,
one
yeah,
Pokemon
Alex.
I did not want to lead into.
Okay, so for premise of this, I don't remember what it is that I prepped or brought. I think I have Specs Regieleki combined with Inteleon, because that was my only way of KOing Mushana around Clefable's Follow Me. I was fairly scared of opposing Fake Out from Persian, but I did have counterplay because I have Protect on like everything. The Eleki, I can max the Eleki. I think I was Life Orb on the Spectrier. I think I was Charcoal or Rock Resist Berry on the Moltres. And then
Life
I had
Orb, I believe.
stuff. Oh, Life Orb on the Moltres. I must have
Yeah,
been
so
spell
so game one, so my plan immediately looking at this was I wanted to go fast lead. So my original plan was either leading with Noivern plus Bisharp, and this time I was actually considering Noivern plus Persian because the Jinx is a major threat and I wanted to out fake out it. But then I ultimately made the decision to go with Noivern Bisharp and it bit me.
I mean, I was gonna think about like what's this matchup specifically, but like Electric Steam is Electric Steam. It is the fastest, most aggressive team. Every single team should be running Trick Room against Electric because no one is as fast as Electric.
So my whole idea was that I wanted to get priority Tailwind early on. So here I switched out because the fake out into Persian, and I knew Persian was my least valuable Pokemon, so I just felt like I had to sack it there.
Yeah, I think Persian in the back probably wasn't going to do very much because like once I got speed control, I was just going to max, and then Fake Out wasn't going to do much. I was surprised by how much that throat drop did in the game.
Yeah, and then,
very strong Pokemon.
So does Vini get a Tailwind here? I would think so.
It's Scarf on the Noivern, by the way. I didn't realize this. I thought it was thing. Yeah, I knew immediately that they were going for Max Rockfall into my.
Yeah, I was considering attacking Jinx there, but I ultimately decided I didn't want to like make the really risky play.
Oh no, I remember
Rock
this
move
game
is
now.
Bisharp, yeah, it's like Rock Slide.
Stone Edge.
Okay, yeah, that was enough to kill Moltres like twice.
Yeah, and then I pivot into the Clef.
We have the very unnecessary Ice Beam crit because that Airstream definitely KO'd.
Yeah, my Clef was not very bulky this week. It was like a
offensive, right?
Offensive that worked in both Trick Room and Tailwind.
Yeah, it was an interesting set.
So
and then this was the time where I found out that you were Scarf. And that was the time where I also found out that you were not Sash. Because I've been so scared of Sash initially, and so that's why I doubled at that turn. And I figured, like, worst comes to worst, you can't KO both of these mons, so either I put you to sleep again, or I still have Moltres.
Yeah, ultimately,
then,
I think this game would have been a lot closer if I led Persian, like I was instinctively thinking to do against Electric's Jinx, because it's Electric Jinx.
I had Trick Room on my Jinx as well, didn't I? No, I didn't. I wanted to fit it.
Boo, sleep, boo.
Look, Lovely Kiss is a good move.
It is.
So, yeah.
Say that, but we're about to watch my match
not-
where I use.
It's a lovely move. Lovely.
So yeah,
lovely
after
move,
we can watch the game two of that too, but going into
And then
that, so
game
I knew
two.
that game, the Jinx was, I felt like the major problem for me, so I wanted to change it up, and I felt like the fast mode wasn't gonna work as well as I thought it would, purely because Jinx really screwed up my leads. So I went Trick Room this game.
I actually had Protect on a Pokemon in that game as well, which is not my standard. Yeah, so I figured you're probably going to lead Trick Room game 2. So I brought this out.
Yeah, and in all cases when I was playing Trick Room, I feel like I should have led Persian game 1, but I changed that up and led it game 2 because I knew that I had to lead Persian with Musharna in order to get Trick Room up. And
Yeah,
I
I
was
figured
not
you were
expecting you
going
to
to-
max the Aleki because it was spec.
Yes, I figured you were going to fake out the Eleki, not the Inteleon, because you knew it was Specs.
There we go. There's that Trick Room.
And
Yeah,
for
so
the Rock
Persian,
Slide,
everybody.
I'm surprised
I put
Musharna
Focus
still
Energy
lived
on
on that.
Inteleon
Jeez.
to guarantee me crits. And then I got flinched, so I didn't get the focus energy off. I also didn't get the 50% crit turn 1 that would have prevented Trick Room from going out.
So I do think
And then-
that for me running Sash Persian kind of backfired here because I had to force pivot Escavin early because I was wasting so many Trick Room turns.
Was that just naturally living the hit with 1%?
No, it was focus Sash.
Oh.
It was
I
focus
was saying
Sash,
I
yeah.
might want. I
knew you were focus Sash. I had to click I didn't have a Protect on it, so I had to click a move that did not give you a KO. I forgot that I had actually forgotten that Escavalier learned Razor Shell this gen.
This is
Or
the coolest move.
that wasn't the move I
That
expected you to
rain
do.
for himself.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Mostly because it also sets me up rain, which is not necessarily in your favor, I think. Yeah, so the fake out there, I just it would have KO'd the Mushana from that range, I think, because I had attack investment. I was like, well, I'm Sash. I don't need defensive investment, so I'm just going to run attack investment instead. And then this snipe shot with the crit would have KO'd because it would have ignored this attack drop, and it would have been double damage because of sniper.
So
Still
turn,
no,
I thought
But-
that he was gonna do the opposite of what he did. I thought he was gonna lovely kiss the Escav and snipe shot the Clefable, but he did the opposite and it was really bad.
Yeah, I thought you had no chance of protecting Uncle Fable there. And I still had 50% chance at worst of KOing your Escavalier there with snipe shot crit.
Moral of the
still no
story:
crit. You
make
never got a
Jinx
crit with
higher
that.
No, he didn't.
Yeah. Can we make Jinx 18 points?
Jinx should be 10 points. That's what it is in WPF. I still drafted it there, and it was like my MVP of the season.
It was. How much was it in WPF?
10 points. That's how much
No,
I.
was it really? I thought it was cheaper than that.
Yeah. No, it's 10 points.
No.
I said that, I told you. Sorry, I mentioned to Pin and Vance, and I forget who else was the mod that I mentioned to from SPF.
Ryder.
That it should be 10 points. No, it wasn't Ryder. Ryder was really inactive. It has been really inactive just in general. He wasn't around during draft, and he's barely been around on season.
Yeah.
How much?
There's my one crit. There was my one crit.
Yeah, on the
Where it
10%
mattered.
Arna.
Hacks.
That was hacked. Yeah, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have crit your Michelle there.
How many points is Jinx here?
Jinx was cost 4, but I drafted it in literally the same round that I drafted it in WPF because it didn't matter. If it was 10, I still would have done it. Oh yeah, Jinx made semis and finals in the practice speed tour in WBG, and they still didn't move it up from 6 points to 10, even though that's what Lamura had said and that's what I've been saying.
I could
So
see.
it's
I definitely think Jinx is worthy of a price hike.
I think the 10 is definitely the most reasonable place to put it.
Let's go back to the doc. I want to see what else is in that 10-point range. We're doing a little bit of reconnaissance right now.
I think Inteleon was 11, and I think it's better than Inteleon.
All right, let's see.
So look
So
at
like
10.
Arrow,
It's
Arrow's a
Mark
very good mon in 10.
Yeah.
Arrow is better than it.
Inteleon's
It's
in
Cole
amazing
is
to be
a lot better
good.
than it. Cole
It's
should
great
not be
week
10
to-
points. Like, Gmax Cole is mildly better, but Cole is still broken.
Cole
In
Cole
draft,
also should
Cole
be a
also-
lot higher. It should be right next to. It should be up to. That's oversight.
Maybe
It should not be that high. No, it should be lower than Gmax, but still like a bit
in the
higher. Than
upcoming WPF season, they're just making the Gmax and the regular form the same Pokemon, and I think that is a very good change because I'm not a fan of having to play 2 Coles in one season.
Yeah, I agree with that. I
I'm
think
not
that's
a fan of having to play
Let alone-
Gold at all.
In WPF, I had to play Cole 3 times in one season because I had it again in playoffs. I beat it in the 2 on-season games that I played it, and then in playoffs I lost to just regular Cole.
I think it
It's
makes the
just
teams.
same model.
I think that would make the teams more balanced too. Like each team has its own Gmax.
No,
I mean, they're
no,
meant to
no.
be special like that.
No.
You get a
That's not what I
colossal.
said.
You get a
should not-
colossal.
You should not make it so that teams can only have one Gmax. No, you should just combine the Gmax and regular form of the Pokemon into one slot.
Well, I
So
guess
there's
that's
you draw
right.
Colossal.
Right. That's
You
what.
get
That's what I
Gmax
meant.
and Ray.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, I just think that the Gmax should be considered to be part of the Pokemon, and you should just put it where it is according to that.
I
Having
think
2
that's completely
Rillaboons, 2
fair.
Cinderaces, 2 Coles is not healthy.
I do. I like that too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make
that
a
is
note.
my-
I'm gonna make a note right here. Just don't mind me.
Yeah, that is interesting because when I look at VGC dogs, I'm just like I see 2 of these guys. I don't know if that's how they usually work because seeing 1 Urshifu in your games is already enough.
Yeah.
Imagine if your 2 guys have Urshifu, it just makes things much more. I guess.
I mean, I would say just make them the regular. Like, just so if you get Rillaboom, you can use the Gmax or the regular. Like, just make it one slot.
I feel like that's slightly powerful because I mean it's not
I think that's-
insanely
You can tier
powerful,
them.
but
You can
It's
tier them for
above
that.
for Cinderace and Inteleon because then they get to either decide to set weather or not.
Exactly.
I mean,
I think.
it's above.
I think that's.
It's fine.
I think
In
you'd have
terms of
to.
elegance, it just doesn't make sense to have 2 Rillabooms but 1 of everything
Yeah,
else.
alternatively, if you if 1 form gets drafted, the other one is just off limit as well.
True.
that's a great idea from SunSun.
No, I don't like that because that still suggests that there's going to be a cheap ass Colossal.
Well, we
You could just
priced
move
it
Colossal up
properly.
then.
Yeah, price it
Yeah.
properly.
Yeah, they just be
I
the
mean,
same.
I think that it is just better to have them just as the one mob because, like, I mean, I drafted in the speed draft I did. I took Pikachu. I used regular Pikachu because I wanted to set Electric Terrain, and then in one of the games I ran Gmax Pikachu because I wanted to go for the double power. Like, I feel like you should be able to like pay for that flexibility, but you should pay for it, right? Like you should price it with the fact that like Inteleon is probably like a 13-point mon now that it can choose between the 2. instead of the like 10/11 point that it was.
Either
Yeah.
way, it's something they can rebuttal on later, but it's a great idea overall.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
excited.
just-
I'm excited for VGC retiering.
Yeah, I hope that maybe this coming season I might have some input. Cool.
Oh, sounds like asking to be on the council. Well,
Yeah.
well,
There's a council?
there's a council.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I don't really know who was on the VGC council.
We had
so
the Wigglytuff Battle Guild president himself. We had Wigglytuff in there, Strife. I think it was Ryder, myself, and maybe one or two other people. I don't remember. But
it'd be nice to have another opinion.
it
The
would.
more knowledgeable people, the better tiering becomes.
Exactly.
that's right.
I will recuse
Unfortunately,
myself.
that also means the more arguments that can occur because
Well, they're healthy arguments.
strong opinions do happen.
Discussions. It's fun.
Discussion.
Yes.
I've seen many a discussions in my time, especially about random mons like Marsh Tom for 1 point or 2 points.
2-point march Tom, definitely. That was broken. Bro, it's got flip time.
I had Marshtomp in a Ubers League. It was pretty nice.
I'm playing against a 1-point march Tom in a Ubers League, and I really wish it was 2 points. But my opponent has a point they didn't spend anyway, so they could have dropped a 2-point mod, but instead they dropped the march Tom.
All right, and then unfortunately we're gonna have to postpone Rom's Rootin' Tootin' challenge. He was unable to make it for tonight. Let's see.
So we have a few more replays to go through still,
We
right?
do.
Yeah,
There, week
some
6
weeks,
replays. Week 6 replays.
We got the Chimpact versus.
It makes me sad that I've actually like kept up on all of these channels in the SPS server, and then the like league commissioner has not. That's my game. It's so bad.
They are out of
So
order.
you-
Okay,
The
Chimpact
game 1
versus
first,
Jordan.
and then the game 2.
yeah,
and
that
then the
one's
game
they're hard.
There we
So
go.
they're
The
right
game
back.
one is actually like manageable. It's like a normal VGC game that's under 10 turns.
Okay, so in my defense, okay, I need to adjust this real quick.
I've actually watched
I've got-
Jordan's YouTube video for their game yet. It's just on my backlist. My backlist is too long.
I've got
Give
I
me a
got
chance
family
to
in
plug
town
my
right
YouTube
now.
channel.
What's it,
The
sorry?
Jordan Plays YouTube. We do analytical, educational VGC draft league content. It's a niche within a niche within a niche. It's for approximately 44 people on the whole planet. But for those people who like it, I'm trying to be like the kind of channel that I would have wanted a couple months ago as I was trying to get into draft league.
Yeah,
You know, like,
I mean,
we're making
I
PowerPoints up in here.
stopped uploading, but I'm uploading an Ubers League, so
Oh yeah, I checked out your channel recently, Electric. I'm digging it.
yeah. I keep having periods where I just like I'm not in the headspace to be able to make content, and then I'll have periods where I'm back in the headspace to make content, and then that will break out halfway through a season. Just a seasons take like several months.
All right,
but-
context. Chimpact has the bulkiest team in the whole league. He has brought double Intimidate, double Snarl. Snarl is low-key one of the best moves in all of VGC.
so good.
I brought my own Snarl in
Like,
Umbria.
I dropped Spectria literally just for fast Whisper Snarl because it shut down opposing VMAX so well.
Oh, for sure. So yeah, so we have teams that can't break through each other's teams. So like luckily, like I decided to Dynamax right out the gate here, which you'll see. And so
Although I was
this
gonna
game
say
is a
off
reasonable
preview,
length.
Jordan
Rotom Wash, if
right
it's
up the gate.
offensive, does break quite well.
Yeah, so I've got a Scarf Rotom Wash, so surprisingly it goes first, and then I just immediately get speed control. So the start of the game's looking good, right? Get the KO on Arcanine before.
And then this
food.
is Meteor Beam, correct? Not
Yeah,
Rock Slide?
If it was intimidated, it probably would have done. what it did.
Yeah, and I don't think he would have won. He would have I don't think he would have DMA'd if he was.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
now
a
we're
great
doing
claim
what
turn
Impact
one.
does so well, which is like this bulk. He's got Snarl on the Scrafty. He's got a really bulky Blastoise. I think it's got Assault Vest. I'm not
Assault Vest,
positive.
And then we go for the G Max.
Oh, you went for the overgrowth there, not the
Dark?
hidden crafting.
Gotta get that Spadef
You
drop.
went for darkness. That's interesting.
And there's the Snarl spam that he's so...
Yeah.
I imagine the
Good.
Blastoise goes with guard
And
here.
my team is special dominant, so like it makes sense.
I
to
don't
just
think that.
No,
I don't think the Blastoise is actually particularly scary for you.
And
I
then
wouldn't.
due to
I
the
wouldn't-
Snarl, it lives at 1% right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Blastoise is like not a very good Pokemon in my opinion, but Gmax Cannonade specifically is very good.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, all of like those moves. I think like
Mhm.
the
The residual
Mario-
damage is definitely big.
But I would have been targeting down the Scrafty there and not the Blastoise. I don't think the Blastoise really mattered that much.
Do you flinch? Let's see it.
Nah, I don't get a flinch. Get out of here.
+5 Spatak.
It's not
+5.
meant for me.
With the coaching.
Yeah, my only physical attacker is Garchomp, so I'm not sure why he was really going for the coaching, but
Well,
Moltres
he's
is a problem.
Garchomp, I guess.
Yeah.
So dodge
Well,
the
he lives
electro.
here.
One.
Yeah, if I hit the Electroweb, then he dies to sand here and I win the game. But, you know,
Hey,
there are other situations where I benefited.
did someone say my week 2 or whatever, where I like missed 2 Electrowebs and an Icy Wind into the same slot?
Yeah.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, so all of a sudden, like, I was feeling great, and then both my mons died to Fiery Wrath, and I'm like, oh, well, I guess I lose.
That one turned fast.
It was the one you guys highlighted that game in the last of the SPS decks, where in game 1 I just got completely screwed by RNG, and then I had to come back game 2.
That's fine.
All right, we're
Is
gonna
this
play.
the gross game?
We're gonna play this one on fast. I think the last
Yeah.
2 we're gonna play on fast, just for time purposes.
Some of the VGC games last 3 or 4 turns, and I think that's a little chaotic for my liking. I like them to last like 5 to 10, where I've got some chance to pull it back. But I do not like my games to last 30 turns.
That is
so-
almost unheard of for VGC games.
So did he protect scout there just to make sure it didn't pump into his face with the?
Because he
The
knew
Yeah,
the
I
one
think
with
he
Scarf
wants to
that
avoid. Like, I do have ways to deal damage, but like just when I'm out of position, I don't. Like,
Yawn is just-
not doing anything against Crafty. I don't have a
Yawn
flying.
on these bulky teams.
SunSun Bring is pretty interesting because it gives him access to a physical max cannonade in the case that you had brought like snarling a lot with your own Umbreon or you got an upper screen or whatever.
Right,
Giving
that
him
makes
that
sense.
versatility is quite solid.
Double snarl turn.
I
Very
think that
effective.
Yawn was a very good bring though from your end because I've been seeing like Hopeless use it a bunch on the Swampert and it gets like very good control over the board, especially when there's only 4 mons.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is the same thing with Lovely Kiss, right? Control is so big in this format.
And then there's the added benefit that like if you get it when like they max, it puts them in a really tough spot where they just like cut their losses and only get 1 turn at max, or they just
Or they have to switch out.
suck it up.
I mean, this is why I miss having Pheromosa because it's like a control mon in terms of like it has really good support, but also offensively, you can generally target down whatever side mon your opponent has because it's got coverage for it. So it's definitely a mon I miss from my WPF games. Like being able to Oko support mons after you like fake them out to stop them from going their support is really nice.
Umbreon sits on the field for over 20 turns here. Not doing a lot, but just making sure my opponent cannot do a lot either.
Yeah,
Hey,
you're just snarling
it's
at
a
each
very
other, so
powerful
your
one to
damage
set it up.
is
That's
less
right.
and less every turn. Oh.
The first meaningful chunk of damage.
I have the right coverage, but like if I get snarled twice before I get to move, then it's not going to do that much anyway.
Yeah, you haven't maxed yet, right?
No,
Neither
yeah, I'm
player's
saving
max.
it for the end.
Yeah, I've noticed that you do that quite well. Is where you save your max for endgame, whereas like myself, I find that I always blow it early, and a lot of times it pays off to save it.
Yeah, late
That's
game,
the main
late game
thing that
max is
everyone
just
can
tough to
benefit
defend
from
against.
doing is just not maxing turn 1 because they're afraid. Just like do a calc or 2, find a lead that's not going to die turn 1 so that you don't feel like you have to max turn 1.
Often I just like to play to where I can just get a piece advantage early in the game, as early in the game as possible, which means that I do tend to have to max turn 1 to be able to get that initial piece advantage.
It's definitely not necessarily wrong to max turn 1 either. The way Electric's been maxing, he just like is the opponent cannot bring it back when they're just like decimated.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
for sure,
But
I
obviously
agree with
if,
like
obviously if they outplay you, then that puts you significantly behind, unless they also max. Like a lot
depends
of the reason I lost my game to Jace is that like I just didn't get enough out of my max.
Yeah,
was
maxing
gonna
against such a bulky team as Chimpax, where his average defense and special defense stats are over 100 on this crew of 6. Like, if you just max, he's just going to protect or snarl, and you're going to accomplish nothing. So,
that's what I was gonna mention is that versus different kind of teams, whereas like such an offensive team as Minor Electrics, it's important to max early just to make sure you get board control. Whereas these teams, they're so fat they don't need to do that, and you want to
Yeah,
stick it.
I feel like I would have to max to just not die turn 1.
I always like viewing it the way that I play as like control. I like playing both games a good bit. I always thought control best described the way that I like to try and play and build in BGC. Because if you're preventing your opponent from really getting damage out in the first place, then you're probably going to be in the best position you can be.
Yeah, this was one of my more proud of moments. The stalling out the Moltres Dynamax with protecting the Garchomp, then swapping in Celesteela. I think the third turn he doesn't accomplish much either.
Because he wanted to sleep. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. What was,
Yeah, there you go.
what was the thought process behind that protect there? You were
Because I
guess you could have
died.
gotcha, yeah.
I died to a Scrafty move. I just didn't want to die. I'm not sure if it was the right move, but
Yeah.
and now I finally get to max on turn 25, 20.
Oh, you're not even maxing yet.
No.
Yeah, next turn see maxes.
No, that not all VGC games are this painful, guys.
this is the anomaly. Dude,
I don't
they don't go over
It's a
10
painful
turns.
game.
I literally
Most
cannot match. Look, the thing is, I just I can't attack the Moltres because it's got a weakness policy, which I learned in game 1. So I just cannot attack it. And so yeah, the missing the Rock Slide hurts here.
You
But
do it now.
Yachi Berry for the win.
Very powerful Yachi Berry.
Yes. Yeah, this
Now
is
here's the max. Turn 27.
27
And then the foul play only works because Moltres has so many attack boosts from the coaching.
Right.
Well, it
no,
gets
it's
defense boost
It's
as well.
effectively
So,
neutral because of its defense boosts.
yeah.
It worked because it was a crit.
Finally.
The crit certainly
Was
did
that
help
the
it.
longest VGC match you played?
That's the longest one I've ever seen.
Same.
That's not the longest one. Chimp won go to 34. Yeah.
Oh yeah, didn't the last game go longer than that?
No, this game was like 10 or 15, I think. It was kind of the same situation where we realized like Snarl is the only way to go. But
yeah, no, Chimp had a game.
Oh, I'm gonna switch sides. I like
Very
Here's the
freaking
spotlight. I think Chimpact plays Gigas better than virtually anyone. That he actually recognized this. Reggie Gigas is almost as bulky as Cresselia. You don't have to play aggressive Reggie Gigas. You can just sit there and knock off items and drain
Exactly.
punch. Yeah, it actually worked really well.
You can get back your own. You can get into slow start just naturally.
Yeah.
And also the thing is with just threatening the fact that you have a Wheezing on the bench, like just being like, hey, I could bring Reggie Gigas plus Wheezing still. Just
At any
obliterate you with
time,
one.
Reggie Gigas can go ham, but it's not that bad when it's just doing the bulky stuff.
And then we get a couple coaching boosts too. It doesn't
Oh
need
my
to-
god, that felt great a
This is
lot.
also the first game.
Because it
that-
doesn't take
yeah.
into account. It doesn't take into account slow start when
Oh.
when Umbreon goes for foul play because Umbreon doesn't have slow start. Slow
Right,
start
yeah.
just halves the
Sir,
power.
double-edged sword when you're against foul play.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly had forgotten about that interaction. That was pretty cool.
And it's also, this is the first game in the series he's brought out Reggie Gigas,
Yeah,
which is interesting.
I don't know.
'Cause, he
I
didn't-
still don't know if I think Moltres Galar is very good. In all honesty,
Oh, I think it's phenomenal.
Good.
It's very scary.
Sorry,
I-
Raph,
one-
it's an amazing
One
move.
criticism I do have for Chimp though is he's been using it pretty well, but he has not been using the Moltres Comfey combo like at all.
He doesn't
I
have
mean, I think that
I thought he did.
no, I'm not sure that he does. But even
Well,
then,
that
I think
explains it.
probably people overusing the Moltres Comfey combination is probably why I'm not big on it. Because you're doing damage to the thing. I mean, I just feel like Moltres is very easy to shut down. If you're it can be very easy to shut down with the opposing Snarl with opposing screens.
Yeah, that's fair. I was saying not even necessarily self-draining Kiss and the weakest policy is great, but also just the fact that you can give the Moltres healing because it is such a naturally bulky Pokemon that will gain its own stats as the game goes on.
I mean, it's bulkier
This
than
is the
regular
key turn
Moltres.
right here, protecting the Garchomp so that I get to survive one turn. I did the calc in the middle of the turn whether Celesteela could finish off Moltres there. I thought I'd won the game, but then this happens.
I'm guessing it burns.
Yeah.
Oh, the burn!
Yeah.
That's right. I
That
forgot.
was huge.
Yeah. No, I mean, some other things went my way. I'm not saying that I got hacked out of the game
No.
or anything.
Yeah.
It's just I really felt great by making that read, and then nope, Pokemon decided nope.
Yeah, and then you just
Yeah, no, I remember. I thought you were. I thought that it was possible you still won off a crit here.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, I wasn't
You
doing
would die right
I remember I
there.
thought you
How
won
is the crit?
and then you crit, and then you didn't. I
And
remember
I think
that.
you got a crit again. You got a second crit, I'm pretty sure, right?
No, that's it. What a good bring. Leftovers Arcanine with Morning Sun and with Snarl. I mean, it's just very hard to take down.
Really, really shut down your
He
team.
kept coaching it too.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was
So-
a tough set. that was really good.
That is the embodiment of fat VGC and slow. Now
Like-
let's get on to the crazy VGC.
Yeah, no, that those
The real
games.
VGC.
Yeah, well,
Not the crazy
I don't know,
VGC.
So game one's the very bottom one.
this isn't. I don't know if I'd call this real VGC.
So the context going into this is Daniel was 05 after Lamuro, so he like wanted to like obviously do something a bit more casual. And I asked him, and it, like I remember asking him when he wanted to play in his AMA, and I forgot who brought this up, of doing like a heat me match kind of.
Yeah,
But either
look-
way, we both agreed to it.
He may be 0-5, but he still has more points earned than 1-4 players. So
Welcome to Draft League, where you can slap a weakness policy in Dynamax and anything can be good.
So I did tell him to
in-
bring like D-Max Cottony because
Okay.
Yeah.
He is a big fan of the demaxing anything. I wound up in my game against him. I had to trick the weakness policy off his Vini so that I could kill his Vini without it killing my entire team. Because then he weakness policy boosted my Grimmsnarl with that trick.
but he acrobatics his own.
yeah, he
what-
had weakness. You'll see what it was later.
Yeah,
Yeah, you'll see game 2.
So there we have the non-imposter Ditto.
Very based Limber Ditto.
Limber?
The
It has
cover-
to be actually.
covers.
It has to be Limber. Nice.
It's Limber quick powder,
Body
so I can
press
fast first one.
Urshifu, which is another
Quick,
surprising
quick
thing.
pull, you mean?
Your
That's not
defense
even
body
Quick powder,
type.
no,
Quick
quick
about it.
powder. Quick powder is an item you can put on Ditto that makes it go ×2 speed.
Oh,
Oh, I didn't
Wait,
know
what?
that.
what on earth? It has this item?
Yeah, Ditto exclusive. So then I bring him my Cinderace back in.
So what do
I
you
was
do on
just wanted to
Scarf?
coaching
You
my
do
own thing.
quick powder. right?
Yeah, exactly.
No, it only works while you're Ditto.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, the soak. Damn.
Self-soak, it's a big
So yeah, we
win.
were both like self-buffing here, but he also lost his stab on his body crust because that, so his didn't do very much.
Right, that's the thing.
Wait, he self-soaked his own body.
he just like these next 2 turns with Daniel are pretty funny.
And so then now he asks me to not attack his Shifu because he didn't realize what guard swap was, so I respected that and I did not
What do you
attack
think
it.
it did?
Maybe
Oh,
better,
he
like-
thought it was guard split, not guard swap.
So I let him get the guard swap back
Oh,
on.
yeah, he wants to...
This is normal.
Yeah.
And then this is when when I pull out my my pledges.
It's good.
So now I have Serene Grace effect on my end. And
because he wanted a
So I
super
assume you're going
hexy
to go
game.
for the very powerful Zen headbutt here and get the
and
flinch.
I'm a nice guy, so I court changed it onto his side, so he could ice punch
I
me.
didn't know you can core change those kind of stuff, but that's...
Yeah, no, I did know that you could change pledges. It's such a weird interaction.
So then I decided to reset up the pledges so that we both have extra hacks.
Very powerful. Is he going to get the ice punch freeze? No, no, he's not going to get the ice
Oh.
punch freeze.
And up until that point, he completely forgot that he had iron defense on our sleep talk on the Urshifu.
Like, why didn't you click it earlier?
What? Dude.
No, bring back old gen rest.
So
Sleep talk.
yeah, I was worried he was gonna bring Misty Terrain Vini to stop me from like slam pairing, or not just because in general it's good, so I couldn't slam pair it. But he
But you were
wasn't.
the wrong. You were the wrong berry. Is that on purpose? Or he was?
Yeah,
Wait,
he
he
did
was
that
the-
for jokes. He did do that for jokes.
Oh. Okay, so now watching. Okay, I'm gonna hit it at normal speed. Now watching this game back with like the context, this was meant to be a heat meat match. Like some of these plays make more sense to me now.
Okay.
Yeah,
You thought this was like a full Prettier?
I watched- yeah, I watched this, like-
I was like, what?
I watched the first time without like any like warning, and I was like, "What are you guys doing?" Like,
It actually gets very close down to the end, but
yeah, it
the
does.
Ditto comes in.
Game 2 is the best.
Yeah.
Oh
Okay,
no,
so-
not the self trick, the life orb. Oh my god. It's impossible to be defeated. It's now life orbed
There's a
non-stab
grand
body.
plan that's in game 2 with that.
So yeah, at this point upcoming, Daniel asks me to let him rest or whatever, and I just, or no, I think he blew up my Blastoise, yeah, and then he asked me to let him rest, and I'm like, no, I have 3 PP, and I actually was still trying to win, and then he got mad and forfeit.
All right, we go to game 2 now.
I mean, you could have gone for wrestling talk yourself, right? Because you were
But I have
prepared.
5 PP on all those moves, so he ultimately just wins unless I crit. And I still want to win. So this game, I let him do the Cottony stuff.
Self acrobatics, weakness policy, Cottony, everybody.
The only it's chlorophyll. It's chlorophyll.
Yeah, so I skill swapped because I wanted to prankster on my Mushar, and he wanted it back, so I was a nice guy, and I tried to give it back, but you can't skill swap Dynamax.
Oh,
I didn't even know
Oh,
you
I
could
didn't know
swap
that.
Neither
Dynamax.
did I.
I guess that's why you can't give them emergency exit.
Maybe.
Oh.
So I bring in the Ditto.
A pair of.
And
Imagine
I
you do a weakness policy on the Ditto, and then you go +4/+4.
Two
That trick is a
D-Max,
very powerful tech.
double D-Max Cottony on the field. Too powerful.
And
Yeah.
we agreed to let it attack the Cottonies attack each other, so that's why I clicked dig.
Oh, I just realized that that you are your telepathy on the Cottony as well.
On the
Could you,
Musharna.
Yeah, because the Mushada skill swap telepathy to his Cottony, so your Ditto, when it copied Cottony, also got telepathy.
Oh, I didn't realize that's
That's
how.
why I was like, why are they slower than
Yeah,
everything?
I
in
thought it
Sun?
was chlorophyll. I expected it to go first too.
Yeah, because they skill swapped the chlorophyll off.
So the last game is honestly quite sad, but also hype. But so
Game 3.
Daniel brought the Gmax P out, and I asked him what's not Dynamax, and he agreed, and then you'll see what happens.
And he's just like, nope.
Yep, he brings out the big guy, and I was just trying to do my pledges.
Immediate paralysis. I mean, hacks.
Broken. Double
Hacks?
paralysis. Damn.
Hacks.
That's what made Gmax Pikachu is good. I like it.
So, yeah,
privileged.
and he
my God.
slaughters my
he's-
Pikachu.
Get random stuff
Because you
everywhere.
had Ditto, you ran
So this game looks done and dusted, but
Wait, that's actual Diggersby?
yeah, this
What?
game was not actually done and dusted.
Man was just going for the points.
Look, if there's this cleft, there's always
Wait,
a
why
way.
did he give you a life orb?
He tricked me the life orb, and I had a sticky barb because I wanted to bring Flink sticky barb, so he ended up having a bad turn.
That was a very interesting play on his behalf. Wait, he went for the setup there instead of trying to give you to get his life orb. I don't know about that one.
And then I
Okay.
pull up that, and then at this point, I think I tell Daniel at this point I tell Daniel not to attack anything and let me just play this turn out, and that's why I was trying to make it a 2-2 game, but
Everyone was a doubter. Everyone was a doubter. But I voted for Daniel. I knew he was going to win.
I voted for myself.
Show
Yeah,
now.
do we do like superlatives at the end of the season? Because this got to make the highlight reel.
That was
this game.
that was pretty cool. That was a fun one.
It was definitely a fun game, I think.
That was definitely spice worthy. All right, so at this point we're an hour and a half in.
Oh,
I'll
so
leave
we've
it-
only got 22 and a half more hours to go for the 24-hour
Actually,
experience,
there's a
right?
custom. Who's that Pokemon for the VGC guys?
No, we don't.
We'll have to make one on
Who's that Pokemon? It's
You want to do that?
Incineroar.
All right, I'll give you guys a choice. We want to do who's that Pokemon, or do we want to do the?
We can do both.
You got time? All right,
That's-
I've got time.
all right, all right.
I have time.
Well, we can do a 90-50-10 first.
Okay,
We can also do that quick.
all right.
Wait, what?
Do you want me
I
to
should
start?
probably open the
So
dock.
okay, so
Alright.
also
Hit it, Vinny. You thought about that.
okay, so let me get
So
these docs open real quick.
So first, let's give a preface of what that means. So 90,
Would you
50,
like me to-
10. So basically, you're supposed to make 3 predictions. So the first prediction is what you think, what you're 90% certain on. The second one is what you're 50% certain on, and the last one's 10%.
That's
so
it.
I
yeah,
guess likely odds. In a way,
this
so
came into my head when Hawk was talking. So he was like trying to get something for this like discussion piece, and I would. So again, like I mentioned earlier, I like watching esports, and this is something I've seen before, and it's very cool. Way to like lay out opinions.
I watch esports. Esports is hot. Can I get a wait? 90% chance 7D sweeps 2-0 in finals.
All right. Got the docs open. Who wants
So do we want to just do one person goes entirely and does theirs, or do we want to all do like our 90s, then all do our 50s, and all do our 10s?
Let's do everybody does one of the 90s and then 50s and then 10s. So we have time to
Okay.
think.
Okay, I'm gonna save my 90 for last because my 90 is like a crazy 90.
Okay.
Okay.
Who's going first?
So okay, my 90%. I think that in semis, Hopeless's Colossal's gonna sweep. That's my 90% prediction. 90% chance that in semis, which is probably gonna be against me.
That's
Hopeless's
crazy
Colossal is gonna sweep.
because you're predicting that they make semis first as well.
I think I'm very confident in. Like, I mean, it's only 90%, right? There is a 10% chance.
Yeah, right.
90. All right. Well,
Yeah,
I'm
this
90%
is I think.
sure that thick defensive VGC is on the
Wait,
rise in draft
I didn't
league.
even mean. I meant Robin, not Hopeless. Hopeless is the Charizard team. I'm tired.
Yeah, they're
Sorry.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Jordan, say it again.
Yeah.
Sorry, I meant Robin, not Hopeless.
Defensive,
Robin's cold.
damage deafening, lame VGC is on the rise in draft league. People are going to be bringing their snarls, their will-o-wisps, their intimidates. Games are going to get longer, especially as playoffs roll around and people just don't want to like win or lose on a coin flip. The game is going to get a little bit lamer, but it's going to get a little bit more skillful in the process.
How
it's
sure are
funny
you on
'cause,
that?
like-
What was your percentage?
I'm 90% sure that
Alright.
the amount of people bringing snarl and will-o-wisp and moves like that is going to go up.
All right.
That's funny because like you think that my team's very offensive, but like all my decisions are like, oh, does this Pokemon have Snarl? Does this Pokemon have Electro Red? Does this Pokemon have Icy Wind? Does this Pokemon have Wisp? Like, there's always been like how I play. I like having offensive mons that can do limitations, like we saw with that Arcanine. Very effective.
I can jump right into my 50% because we're on the page. I am 50%
We have more
sure.
90s. Wait.
We got more 90s. Bullhawk.
We have more 90s.
Might be.
90s. Man.
So
I'm actually.
would you like me to do my crazy one now that I've Electrix is already kind of crazy?
Yes. Give me time.
Get it.
So do you want to head over to the Zapdos talk for me?
Yeah.
So my prediction, my 90, is that Alchemist is gonna win the entirety of Zapdos. So it may seem a bit out there because it is, but he's just seemed to me a step above, and he's like I would like this is not, in my opinion, like even my opinion. It's just objectively correct that I think he's the best player in that whole division, not just at draft, but just at Pokemon. Like, have you seen the guy play? He's so good at ladder. And then he's got a good team behind him. He's been getting more comfortable over the entire season and getting stronger. I just think that no one's going to be able to beat him.
He's been
Have
doing
you had
pretty
many
solid.
interactions with him? Have you spoken to him at all?
Yeah, so at first I learned who he was because he's Arthur's cousin. And then I've, like, prepped with him a little bit in, like, a smaller server and just talked to him a little bit, and he's a nice guy.
My sole experience with him in terms of like thing is I played him in a speed tour and he kept dodging my Drizzle's Muddy Waters, but ultimately Drizzle did win the day. It's fine
Why did you have a Drizzle?
because I had 1 point.
Explain yourself.
Okay.
It was good. It's a good mod. It literally won me my game against Alchemist. I brought it instead of Landorus Eye.
Was it a Sun Force or Sheer Force?
Sheer Force, Landorus Eye, draft, VGC draft.
Okay.
Wow.
I mean, sometimes
got-
Landorus Eye is bad matchups.
So we got Ballhawk and SunSun left for their 90s.
All right. Well, I'm gonna say that I am 90% sure that I'm not
Short
sure what to
drum
say.
Do you want trouble?
Okay. I'm 90% sure we're gonna get at least 5 teams that are gonna make some crazy transactions tomorrow, today.
Is this the last week for transactions?
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Tomorrow,
Oh,
which,
yeah,
which tomorrow at this time is Sunday. It's the last day for transactions.
Yeah, to make sure it happens.
Did you guys put up an announcement about that? Like,
I'm sure Sunny's doing it right now.
Yeah, it will be one. So I make sure it happens.
All right. I'm gonna say I am 90% sure that J-Cap's Mega Garchomp is going to be kill leader in Moltres division.
Okay.
J-Caps, if you're listening to this, make sure your Jirachi beats out your Mega Chomp.
Do it, J-Caps. We believe in you. So do we want to start? Does anyone have a 50%?
Yes.
My
Alright,
50 is very boring.
I have
Would you like
the
me to-
best 50% about the only division that matters, which is Pick'ems. My 50% prediction is that I think Vini is actually going to win Pick'ems.
I like it.
Oh, you think I'm gonna overcome Hawk?
I believe in you. I believe in you. I think my 50% prediction right now is that Vini is going to win Pick'ems. Now, it's not the most confident I could emphatically be, but I'm Vini.
I mean, it's a coin flip, right? It's
No,
trending with
it's
the team.
pure skill. This is the highest skill division.
Totally.
Completely.
All right.
So, my prediction for 50 was kind of boring, but I said that I would make playoffs because right now I am 3-3 with 9 points, which is literally like half that I could have right now, and I'm probably like right on the cusp of playoffs. So, yeah, that's what my prediction is, and I'm not the most confident right now after having a few rough weeks, and I face like Jace and I face Mick, who has a crazy team. So yeah.
And for context, VGC's standing is a little bit different if you haven't been paying attention. They go by
Best of
points because it's a best of 3 setting, so they go by points based on how strong their wins or losses were, and then it goes to direct game stats and then differential stats. So a little bit in different standings down there in VGC.
Yeah, my 2 games left are against Lemuro and Mick, which are the 2 scariest people left. Like, and I'm playing HDK first as well. It was another terrifying thing, and he is Colossal, I think.
Yeah.
Or is he the stack team? He's got something terrifying.
I think
We're
he's got tornadoes.
My
Yeah, that's not
50%, I'm 50% sure that someone is going to make the playoffs with fewer wins than someone else, and we're going to have a discussion about whether the point system makes any sense at all.
That's gonna be a very fair one that I think
I
will
think
actually
that-
for sure happen.
I think the Games 1 system as the tiebreaker is very confusing because
I definitely understand the intention. It just feels bad to be below someone with fewer wins, and it doesn't necessarily feel good to be above someone with fewer wins.
I was
mean,
mostly
like,
looking at Cheesy because I think Cheesy, like, if he picks up like a few like actual series wins, like, yeah, like, and look at him, he was 0-4, but he still picked up looks like 1 point every single series, and now he's getting a win. So he's looking like not that bad of a spot to like upset someone like Jordan or myself to get into a playoff spot.
Yeah, I mean, I think that like it should. I think Games 1 is a better tiebreaker than the average of Games 1/loss.
Then the ratio. Yeah.
Yeah, the ratio.
Be tiebreaker only.
Yeah, that's fair. I can get behind that. Let's see here.
Any other 50% hot takes?
Mm-hmm.
Medium heat takes?
Medium heat takes. Very, very medium heat takes.
I gotta come back and look at these standings here. Man, my goodness.
Sun, do you have a nice 50%?
Just trying to look through the docs.
Yeah.
See what I've done.
I was not prepared for this segment, to say the least.
I am only familiar with 2 divs, Pick'ems and VGC. So
I just noticed, is Boot's team name Boot W?
It
Yeah.
is.
that's thank you. It's Boot what?
Because that's what Boot does.
His president's name is W.
Man, I'm gonna say that I'm 50% sure that somebody with a less than winning record or somebody with a losing record is going to make it into playoffs in each division.
In every single one?
Yes,
It's a pretty baller prediction.
it is. I mean, I am a baller hawk.
I'm going to say there's a 50% chance that Conkeldurr will be the kill leader in Silver or Articuno.
Currently
Division.
kill leader with Wobbuffet. So
Yeah, it's currently 11-4.
Wow.
1 kill ahead of the next Mon, Mega Mawile. But Mega Mawile performs much differently than a Conk, in my opinion, where Mega Mawile can probably kill more. So I think,
yeah, and like looking
I played
right
a
below
game.
Dragapult.
I played a game. I'd forgotten in prep that Mega Mawile had Intimidate. So my Mega Mawile came in and intimidated my Mon, and then it Mega Revolt, and I literally lost the entire game from there because it could get 3 kills, and I had no way of stopping it from getting 3 kills because it could sub for free and then get 3 kills in a row.
Oh man.
That is not something that's true for basically any other Pokemon.
I wanted to counter your argument with that. I think that Dragapult's gonna end as MVP. This may or may not be biased because Dad
It's
is
a
a
50.
mod in my server, and I probably will help him build a bunch, so I have influence on that. But
So what you're telling
my
me is, with Vini prep support, Mega Mawile will definitely be beating out Dragapult.
no, Dragapult. Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
my bad. You're roasting me. No.
I have a hot take in that everyone universally disagrees with it who I've ever spoken to in VGC, which is that in VGC Draft League, Dragapult is overrated.
Define overrated.
Well,
I don't know. I feel
everyone
like I don't
seems to
understand
think it's like top 5 or top 1 draft mon just because like it can do a million things. But I think it's like top 30 to 50. It's good, but its offensive stats not quite there. You know, you can find 100 mons that are stronger than it.
142 speed. That's the only offensive stat you need.
Its speed is unnecessary, which is obviously where Electric and I differ, where he really prizes the natural speed. But I don't think you need to be fast, and Dragapult would love to not to always be fast all the time. If it could just be a little bulkier or a little stronger, or actually have relevant stab moves.
No,
get behind
don't
you.
make
I think-
Dragapult any stronger.
I think Dragapult is meant to shine more in singles. I think at VGC Dragon
I
stab
think
is
that-
not as strong as it is in singles,
I
and I
mean,
think just the fact that there are a lot of other things that can abuse better offense in the format.
I do actually agree with your take, Jordan, where I do think it's overrated, but I think that you underrated it too much. Like, I think that you're underrating it and other people are overrating it. So it's like kind of in the middle.
I don't think
Right,
those-
if there's
I
a
don't think those are
compromise
top
where
5
it's
mons.
somewhere in the top like 30 or so, then that's fine. But
think it's
people
in
are
the
like,
top
it can do everything, but I'm like, it doesn't get the Okos. It's not quite strong enough. You're not using Ghost or Dragon moves because you want to do super effective damage in Draft League because you know exactly what you're going to be fighting against. It's just
It's
not
so
quite
effective
strong
at
enough.
shutting down opposing teams with Wisp
Not
and
okay
Screens.
enough.
Yeah,
Like,
Screens
it's just
Screens
very
Dragapult
effective
is definitely tough if you're not ready for it.
And then on top of that, you also have like a lot of teams that are weak. In my experience, a lot of teams that wind up being weak to Ghost. Obviously, I would prefer to have Spectre to abuse it, but Dragapult, because it's weak to Dark, Ice. It's weak to Dark and Ice and Fairy, which means there are a lot of options you can have next to it to give it like priority weakness policy boost. And weakness policy Dragapult is very strong.
You're saying that like its weaknesses are a good thing because weakness policy procs, but I think that the weaknesses in general are a bigger problem in Draft League than they are in tournaments or any other format.
I
The
don't think weaknesses are
context
ever a
around
bad
that,
thing
like what you're talking about, like I think it's a valid point because you talked about it. It misses the KOs. I think it's actually a good way to look at it. Like just taking a deeper dive into like just actually looking at the stuff there, like those self weakness policy procs. Like that's huge and helps Dragapult get those KOs. Where I can definitely see where the lecture's coming from.
I had Dragapult in a speed tour and I used it in all of the games, and I don't think I ever maxed it. Well, I used Scarf once. I used Sash. I used Sash with just like damage like output moves, and I just use Dragon Darts. Dragon Darts, the fact that it hits both opponents but it doesn't function like a spread move is really nice. Yeah, I used Scarf twice actually. It's a really good Scarf.
Sash Dragapult is great. It just feels bad to have like your most expensive mon have to use a focus sash.
Yeah, that's why I don't like Katana either.
I would agree that I do ultimately agree with you. I think Dragapult is a little bit overrated in VGC.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm just not on the pulse of where people are rating things, because I was surprised to see a bunch of people in WBG making jokes about Dragapult always going first, and then it went first in every div. I thought it seems like I don't know, maybe a top 5 mon, but I guess I don't really have a sense of like, I don't think there is like a mon that I'd be like, oh, I should take this round 1. Like, there's no mon that I'm like, I definitely want to take it now. It's like, oh, like I took Regieleki round 1 in this thing. I don't think it would have gotten back to me if I didn't, but I don't think it's like overwhelming. I mean, I haven't been particularly enthused with it.
So
But
I think
it's nothing like super overwhelming in VGC.
I think it might be a good idea to compile some Dragapult stats, from different leagues, from different games.
Yeah.
Trying to see how Dragapult does across, different leagues.
Oh,
see
let's
the
look at
win
it.
rates.
NL. I'm gonna pull it up. Just give me a minute.
That's true.
League.nl.
On Robin's team, it's been a very, very, very effective mon next to Cole. As we can see, Cole is the second kill leader mon, and
Yeah, of course.
that's because
6 of those are versus me.
7 of those are versus me.
You guys have been feeding
Well-
the Cole.
Cole just smashes my team. Like,
It smashes a lot of teams, to be fair.
So therefore, Dragapult is not good because me and Electric are bad. End of story.
yes,
It's more so the
that's why
pool.
I'm bad. That's why I am where I am. That's why I am currently top of the leaderboard. And when stats are updated, I'm like in the middle of the top of the leaderboard. That's because I'm bad at the game. It's because I keep missing Lovely Kiss with Jinx. That's the problem. I need to just hit Lovely
Just
Kiss.
aim better.
I'm still mad about every single time I play Jace, he always taxes me. It's very sad. I still can't believe he dodged a wide lens triple axle. And then
Wide
he
lens,
crit me.
that feels really bad.
That feels so bad.
It's like when you
I can
connect
relate.
with Victini, right? Because you already have the 1.1 boost, and then your bolt strike just goes to the left. And now,
I know. They need to free Victini, except they really don't need to free Victini. But they need to free Victini so that I can have Victory Star.
You and me both,
With
man.
wide lens.
I ran wide lens Zacian multiple times last season in
Yeah, and you still
WTF.
missing players.
And I still missed play rough.
if they
I should
ever
have learned
allow
from your mistakes and not
mythicals,
run wide lens.
if they ever allow mythicals, Mew is gonna be really strong. 'Cause
If they ever allow mythicals, then Jirachi is going to be the most broken overwhelming Pokemon. It was in Doubles OU.
I honestly don't think Mew would be very good.
I mean, Mew would probably not be very good yet.
Mew would
It
be
doesn't
very
really
good in Draft League, but in terms of like actual like ladder,
right? Okay,
awful.
yeah. I was speaking.
Yeah.
for-
It's weak to Ghost and Dark, which everyone would run because Jirachi's got Follow Me, and it's the best Pokemon in the format.
I forgot
So-
Jirachi has Follow Me.
When
So-
you're a Pokemon that is weak to the same types as the best Pokemon in the format, you're just going to suffer as a result of that.
So are we still
Same
looking
is
for
true.
those Dragapult stats, or are
Yeah,
we
so,
going down
so
to the
here's the
10%?
situation. Dragapult's been, in 700 games, doubles games on draftleague.nl. It has a kill death of basically 495 kills, 487 deaths. So it's not that great in terms of KD. Now, obviously, Dragapult does a lot more than kill, but like I just looked up 3 other Pokemon that I believe are stronger than Dragapult. Glastrier has a KD of over 2 kills per death. Metagross has a higher win percentage than Dragapult when brought. It has a KD of 1.8. Tapu Fini has a 60% win rate of all games involving Tapu Fini. They win 60% of the time, and that has, I guess it has more kills than deaths, is a better ratio than Dragapult slightly. Dragapult is not quite strong enough. It's not quite bulky enough. It's very good. It can do a million different things, but it's just not quite the all-star that I would have hoped it
I
would.
think if you're losing to Glastrier, then your team is bad. Because if your opponent gets a Trick Room against you, your team is bad.
It's not, a lot of times in doubles you just can't stop Trick Room, right? With Follow Me, Fake Out, there's a lot of guaranteed Trick Room setups out there.
They're really... If you don't have a tech on your team, like a way to stop someone from setting up Trick Room reliably, then that's just a fundamental flaw with your team, and you should be losing games because of it.
I gotta disagree with you there. I mean, like there are mons that block taunt. There's mental
There's a
urge.
million mons with Imprison, though.
Follow Me. There's a lot of situations like Indeedee had a read where it's got Fake Out, it's got Follow Me, Trick Room, and it's also threatening dual expanding force. So stopping Trick Room might not actually be your top priority. There's a lot of times where you have to accept that Trick Room is going up and you need to be able to play inside Trick Room.
I would like to say that I do agree with Jordan here, and Electric has a very strong stance on that.
Electric's got the strongest team in the league, the most aggressive team in the league, so he can just kill the Trick Room setter, but we're not graced with such amazing power, so
No, 50% of the time, yeah, 50% of the time with the snipe shot thing. Like, I mean, having the ability to ignore redirection, I think, is very important in draft. I think you should try and prioritize being able to pick up a mon who can ignore redirection, which doesn't just mean something that has like propeller tail or whatever, but also just something with an actually strong spread move, which is what one of the good things that he has is the really strong Electro Web. But also just having good fake out is important. Having good taunts, having Imprison for Trick Room, which I have had on, I've always tried to have when I dropped I ran Imprison Trick Room Necrozma, and it worked, because you know, I used my restricted to stop them setting up Trick Room, and I won the game, even though I did not have a restricted. I had like one attack that was resisted by their entire team because I stopped them setting up Trick Room, and then their team fell apart.
I do think that at bottom line, I do agree with what Jordan was saying though. Where like Vini, Glacier, Metagross are all more consistent, like mons that are gonna get more done than Dragapult, but Dragapult ultimately has more potential than them if you use it right.
Dragapult's an incredible support mon. The only reason I don't like Vini is because it's setting out Misty Terrain, which some of the best offensive mons in the format are Dragon types, and if you that just stops you from being able to like really pick up an offensive Dragon type yourself.
Well, that was what SunSun was saying earlier. Dragon type moves kind of overrated.
I don't think Dragon type moves are overrated. I think the max whelmwind dropping attack is super relevant.
Oh, that's definitely.
It's a good max.
Like P-max move.
Yeah, it's a little dangerous with Fairy type follow me, and just like in draft league, you always want to be hitting with super effective when you can, unless you have like Vicious Ren.
I really don't agree about that. I think that the best teams, the Pokemon is good if it can just click its stab into a neutral target and kill it. And if you can't do that, you're just not a very good Pokemon.
You can do that in your blessed. You know, there's not that many Pokemon that can just kill everything with Vicious Ren.
I mean, yeah, but even just like, you know, an example Pokemon that I've been using in this league is Kartana, and Kartana has been KOing like flying type resists with grass moves because
it also has the single highest attack stat in the entire game.
Yeah, but Leaf Blade's also not a very high base power move, which is why the attack stat is like the whole thing. It doesn't have an immediate boost due to its ability, so like there are a lot of Pokemon that hit immediately harder than Kartana does, despite the fact that it has a big attack stat, because attack stats are like they very much trail off once you get over 100. Like the diminishing returns on it are not super impactful. Whereas if you have an ability like adaptability, if you have an ability like a transistor or whatever, the damage boost there is incredibly.
So
I mean,
I'm just excited to see how yours and my season works out, Electric, just due to our different philosophies. Because it's definitely not clear that I'm going to win or you're going to win. I think you're a good, talented player, so I'm excited to see.
Hey, maybe it'll be a whole different winner. Maybe Cheesy's going to sneak up on you guys.
Yeah, right.
The winner's gonna be either one of us. Could be Vini, could be anyone else.
My 10% prediction: Vini wins VGC.
There we go.
Hell yeah!
Get your blank out of your get your head out of your blank. Is what I will say.
Okay, I believe it. I believe semis. You know, semis. I'm gonna lose to Robin. 100% chance that I have no chance of defeating Cole because it's broken. And then that means in finals, Vini versus Robin. I believe in Vini.
Vinny, to be fair, he only gave you a 10% chance, so I mean his head isn't completely up his.
Oh,
leg.
this our
I did
10%
vote
hot
for
takes.
battle against you. I was right.
Do we want to transition it into our 10% hot takes?
It's probably the time. Right?
Were we done with all our 50s?
I thought so. I thought we were ready for 10s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you do a 50?
I did. My
He
50
did
was
the
Conk thing.
Yeah.
Was
Cool.
a conk, yeah.
I can
Okay,
start off the
here we
10.
All
It's
right.
the 10%. We've
Go
done the
for
10. We won 10% in. I believe in Vini, but not against Daniel.
All right. What do you got, Vinny?
My 10% was that so J-Caps, Luffy, and Wobbuffet, all the undefeated coaches, are going to remain undefeated. So, in terms of this Luffy, I'm super confident in. I think he's just been destroying like all the leagues he's in, and he'll continue to just dominate. And I don't think he'll drop a game, hopefully, in the last 3 weeks. J-Caps, again, he has like the Mega Chomp, and he's been like really feeling it. Solid. Again, hopefully he doesn't drop a game. Don't think he will.
J-Caps is a
And then-
Voltrix. Interesting.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I also think that he's a very strong player, and he's grown a lot lately.
Sure.
Wobbuffet, I'm not sure, but they seem comfortable in the way they're playing, although a lot of their games are close, so they're going to be the one that I think would make or break this, my 10%, which is why it's a 10%.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think Wobbuffet's going to drop games down the line, simply because I think there should have been at least 2 games where he lost, because different circumstances happen.
Yeah.
I think
Again,
Luffy is going to drop
5%.
week 9 because they're going to make a deal with someone else for kill leader and then get 5 kills with that mon and then only roll 1 on themselves. Because that's what happened in 2 other leagues that Luffy's been in.
Well, that makes it very much accurate for being a 10%.
I think there's a 10% chance Bagel Joe makes the playoffs.
That's so rude. How dare you?
That is rude. I know.
Look, just because it's true, just because you're correct doesn't mean you're right, you know?
All right,
Like,
I'm gonna counter that because I mean, as I look at the standings right now, Bagel John is technically ahead of you.
He is ahead of me, but you know what?
I'm gonna say there's a 10% chance that SunSun makes playoffs.
Okay.
Yep.
Boom.
I
This would be the first season that SunSun. Wait, no. I'm gonna change that. 10% chance this is the first season in SPS that SunSun has participated in that he will not win a championship.
he won twice.
That's a 90%er.
Nah, that's 10% worthy.
All right, Jordan, what's your 10% to wrap us up?
Well, so two-parter. I'm reasonably certain that VGC draft leagues are going to experiment with like banning stuff. Like, unfortunately, Game Freak does not take like an active role in balancing their own game. But draft league is its own format, and we should experiment with like banning Moody and banning like evasion and the stuff that most people agree, even if it's not overpowered, is like not the best parts of our game, and we could probably. But like, where I'm 10% sure is that these discussions about making a healthier VGC will actually work. Is that they're going to descend into discussions of what is fairness, and oh well, that's kind of nuts, but I like it, and therefore I don't want to ban it. So unfortunately, it's going to run into the same issues that the singles competitive format has run into with trying to ban things. Unfortunately, people can't agree what's fair and what's fun. It's a very hard discussion to have. I think there are some obvious things that we should do to improve our game. It's just very difficult to have those discussions.
Well, Jordan, if you had one move that you could ban from VGC draft, what would you ban?
There's no.
If I was to it would just be Colossal.
Like, good move, good move.
Colossal.
Colossal.
Okay.
I hate it when my opponent clicks.
Oh, I'm trying to
Colossal.
think.
Both of them.
Honestly,
just go
I
Steam
think
Engine,
if for me,
ridiculous.
I would say Trick Room, but then Trick Room would completely centralize the meta around fast mons. But I was like thinking maybe getting rid of stuff like
Not
Trick
unhealthy,
Room and I think
lot
banning like Trick Room and Tailwind could be interesting because those are the more like solid speed
I
control
don't
effects
think
rather
that
than like
benefits-
Scary Face or like Electro Web, that stuff. I think like
Mhm.
banning Tailwind and Trick Room could be cool.
But I don't think that benefits the metagame. Or
No, yeah, I think the game is a lot better with speed control. It's one of the most interesting parts of the game for me.
Yeah, for sure.
It makes the game a lot more dynamic. I don't think that I would necessarily enjoy that. I think banning Trick Room is just kind of going to make a whole bunch of mons that were okay, just completely useless.
If we look
Yeah,
at
that's
like
a
the
good one.
top tiers, right? Glacier will be gone like instantly. Mons like Dustclops, they're
Cresselia, yeah.
gone.
I mean, in DD female is going to be worse.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
redirection in general is going to be worse. It's not going to be terrible, but it's going to be worse.
Like stack attack,
that-
get out 15 points.
Yeah.
That was just a fast thought in my head that I thought, but does not.
I really don't think
Tournaments
Trick
with
Room.
weird formats like that, like no Trick Room or something like that, just to see what happened, see people's ideas as to how the game would be different.
No.
I guess the
item
other thing
clause.
that most people would look to ban is
Oh,
Dynamax.
that's a good one. The Pog said.
Sorry, what did I say?
He
Sorry.
said no item clause.
No item clause. I actually really like item clause. I think that it is very good for this. Otherwise, I probably run like Focus Ash or Life Orb on like every single
No,
one on my
I
team.
meant like no items. The clause is no items.
Oh,
Oh,
That's
that's
chaotic.
interesting.
Dude, let's do it. No one can outscarf my Regieleki.
Yeah, just hard nerfing every Marowak.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Marowak.
Alone the Merrimack, get out of here. Porygon 2, take a seat.
Oh yeah, Eviolite's gone.
Paragon 2 is still good without
It
it.
is.
Run safety goggles.
Yeah.
oh, Mungus would actually be
God.
broken.
Smeagol running Spore again. I'm sorry, Jordan, you mentioned Moody. I don't think Moody is broken because it doesn't boost evasiveness or whatever in this gen. I don't think Moody is like in VGC.
I think the discussion should not be around this is overpowering, right? Because we actually do have discussions when something's overpowered, like
Yeah.
Game Freak actually like nerfed Intimidate because it was too strong. It's not because
Yeah.
it's too strong, it's because 80+% of players find the game less fun when it is present.
Yeah,
Right.
Moody. I don't know. Like, I thought Moody and Smeagol last gen, the accuracy boosts and the evasiveness drops and whatever, evasiveness boosts were just completely terrible. But I think that now that it's not there, I don't think it seems particularly unhealthy to me in a doubles metagame. You can't really viably do like the thing in singles where you just like sub protect, and like toxic stall things.
Yeah, no thank you.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
doesn't
pretty much.
promote a good playstyle, which I guess makes the game
I'm
less
fine
fun.
with banning Chansey. If it needs to be done, I'm fine with banning Chansey.
Just Chansey, no, not Blissey.
I mean, Blissey is much less bulky than Chansey.
Right.
Well,
Because it
Blissey
doesn't
can,
get you
but Blissey
They
can run
technically
ahead.
try
of
to
him.
do the same
Your
thing.
pain split, your guard split, Chansey with Shuckle, which means that you then have 230 defenses that are multiply 1.5 by EVOLA. That's a lot less good on Blissey.
Just
EVOLA.
bad. Just 1.5 times less.
So it's like, I mean,
The thing that I was thinking about is imagine how frail Shuckle would be after the guard splits, because with its Fizz depth.
it's good
It's
spit
done its job after that point.
Yeah.
It's got spit F, it's fine.
You can just switch out and get his defense back.
I'm pretty sure Chansey, after a guard split, lives like Pheromosa close combat.
I'm sure
Oh.
it does.
Pheromosa isn't even the strongest hitting fighting
Oh.
type.
Pheromosa is
But it
not
was
strong
like Mega
fighting type.
Lucario close
It's the one
combat.
that I used, so.
You know, Mega Luke. Powerful close combat.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Well, Mega Look is not a mod that's super common in usage in VGC, to be fair.
Well, it's not even common anymore because Megas are dead.
Yeah, but even when it was around, it was. I mean, it was pretty strong. Like it was pretty strong.
But it's too
Like,
frail and then.
It's
Yeah.
ma-
it was also
major
an offensive steel
glass
type and an
cannon.
offensive fighting type. And Meteor Mash is not accurate. But I mean, there were cool teams using it. You saw with Mega Metacham as well. You saw Pheromosa as well. Like fighting types had definitely a niche.
Oh my
Last
god, yeah. Wait, Mega Medi's definitely the strongest fighting move in the game.
Yeah, I don't think Chansey lives in Mega Metacham high jump kick. But the coolest thing about Pheromosa and Metacham last gen was that there was you could sack them with high jump kick into a protect or a ghost type, and then that gives you a free switch into the next mon. That I thought was a friend of mine from the local scene, Graham Amity, famously made finals at US Internets with the Mega Metacham, and that was a big part of the malleability of the game that he was really big on, was the ability to sack him on with a jump kick. Was super cool. That was cool.
If Magirna was allowed to, imagine that. Like, that could be like a strategy where you're using like Magirna Mega Medi and like just giving yourself.
Okay, I take it back. Guess how much Mega Metacham high jump kick does to God Split EVL 8 Chansey?
Under half.
30%
What?
max. 30% max. That's with a pure power boost.
Gross. That is
That's
not healthy.
These young folks have the stamina to be doing calcs after 2 hours of Pokemon discussion. Prop.
Yeah.
I really just opened up the calc, you know? I mean,
Congrats to us. We've
How
officially
much-
hit the longest
Probably like
episode
3
of
years
the
long.
podcast.
I was just about to ask that. Is this the longest
It
one
is.
ever?
It is the longest by a
I
good
like
half
it.
hour.
I
I
like
think.
that's okay. We can push to the 24-hour Sky Pillar sit down.
Oof.
I like
We
how
had
you
that
bring-
really long one with like 7 people, right?
That was a long,
don't
but I
know.
think it was like that might have been like an hour, and it was either hour and a half or an
we
hour and
went
45
through like
minutes.
every division's playoff games.
So yes, I can confirm that he does not have Confe and Moltres Glock, because Confe is not drafted by anyone. And he doesn't have Sylveon Moltres Glock, because I have Sylveon.
And what I was gonna say is that like, that you bring on the people in the part of the fastest format, and then you get the slowest podcast or the longest.
Yeah, gotta love it.
Who's that Pokemon thing that was mentioned? What's a Pokemon?
No, are we all done to 10%?
I think we are.
All right,
I
so
think we have done this episode.
all right, my who's that Pokemon? We'll give you 3 hints. Each of you get 1 guesses. Once your guess is up, you can't guess until the next hint is given. Okay.
Guys,
Okay.
I need to bow out. I am literally half asleep right now.
All right, man. It's the
All right.
goal.
It's been swell. To the next week. I'll tune in next week. Take care, everybody.
All right,
Hopefully
thanks
see
for
you
joining,
all.
man.
Check out the Jordan on YouTube.
Check them out.
Oh, it's the Jordan Plays, right?
Yeah, it's the Jordan plays.
All right.
Oh, I'm so old. I don't know how to turn my Discord off.
All right. So we can eject you from the call too if you want us to.
Take care. Yeah.
All right.
In the bottom of your like start bar, in the taskbar thing, there's a small green circle which turns into a Discord thing when you get kicked.
Oh, he just ball disconnected him. Yeah.
He's gone now.
Yeah. It's all right.
I see the Bullhawk had faith, but his faith was misplaced.
Okay. So the first hint, it's a Pokédex entry from Platinum.
Okay.
It is said that several of these Pokemon gather under giant leaves and live together in apartments.
Is it Burmy?
Okay.
No, it's not Burmy.
Don't you only get? Do you get one guess per hint or one guess total?
One
Guess
guess
per
per
hint.
hint.
Oh. So it's a Badu?
Nope.
God. What Pokemon ran to Gen 4?
It doesn't necessarily have to be from Gen 4. It's just a dex entry from that generation.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I don't know, Snover or something under like a big Avomastar. That's from Gen 4. Right?
Not quite. All right, next hint. Ash has owned one of these.
Snorunt.
It's Snorunt. Yeah.
I knew it was just a nice type. I've done one of these like challenges before. I always get them as like, no, is it Snova? It's similar. No, but Ash has a Snorunt, and then it turns into Glalie, who's based. I need to rewatch that.
It was Snorunt? I thought he said
Yeah.
Snorlax.
I was really wondering when you said not quite. I was like, it's not Snover. What could it be?
Yeah, I was like, that was like, oh, that's right, something similar. Yeah. Okay. Very powerful.
Nice.
Um.
Well, I
Took
think-
2 tries.
Yeah.
Okay.
what was your
Is there another
pick?
one of these?
It was
Or
going
is
to
it
be
just
involved with Dawnstone.
It
The
evolves.
Dawnstar.
Oh.
Dawnstone.
Yeah, into Frostlass, right?
Yeah. Only females.
Yeah, like with Glades, how both female Snorunt can turn to Glalie and male Curlia can turn into Gardevoir. But
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
also
it's the
makes sense
Dawnstone.
that it hides because it's Snorunt. It's like a scared Pokemon. Yeah, makes sense in the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah. Cool. Well, yeah,
do
no,
they
that was,
like
that was
eat
it.
snow?
I don't know what they
Okay, so are we doing another Pokemon? I have a. I like doing these like Pokemon trivia things.
That
No, we
was-
don't have another one planned.
I can ask one.
Okay, go.
All right.
Okay. So, let's see. It's like wait. I mean, this might be a little bit obvious, but it's the rhythm of bright, festive music activates their cells, making it more powerful.
Ludicolo.
Yeah, Ludicolo.
Wait, that. Oh my
Help! It was the only
wrong.
Pokemon I already had the Volpedia picture.
Yeah. I think
Okay.
yeah, actually Ram might have read that one off at one point.
Okay,
Oh my God.
let's. Okay, I'll try better. I'll do one of my favorite Pokemon instead. Not that I dislike Ludicolo or anything. It's just that Okay. Their legs and hands have a mind of their own, and they will move independently, but they usually follow the head's orders.
Pheromosa?
Pheromosa. Sorry, someone else said something that wasn't Pheromosa.
Swilus?
Sphylis? No, it's not Sphylis.
It wasn't Pheromosa, right?
Is it?
It was not Pheromosa, no.
Wait.
Teg's
No.
its
Wait.
limbs have its own thing. What?
Wait. I'm trying to think. Is it
I'm trying to think
Hoopa?
what's your favorite Pokemon.
Is it Hoopa Unbound?
It's not Hooper on
I don't know. I was grasping at straws in that one.
Wait, repeat the dex entry again? Let me see.
Their legs and hands have minds of their own, and they move independently, but they usually follow the head's orders. That's from Alpha Sapphire.
Legs and arms.
Is there another hint?
Okay, so the next hint. In the anime, they were under the Ninja Saizo, and they were a ninja Pokemon. And they used it to help train up Ash's Froakie to be a ninja.
I didn't watch that anime.
The
I
Gen
did
6
not-
anime was quite good, actually.
I watched some of
Like-
it, but I missed that.
Gen 4 was on like the start of the decline, and Gen 5 was like rock bottom. And then the Gen 6 anime, it started being good again.
Okay,
Yeah,
I do
so-
not think this guess is right, and I don't think this is one of your favorite Pokemon, but I'm gonna go with Mega Medi just on the off.
Mega
it was
Medi.
not a Mega. It was not Metachan. Mega Meta, Megas are a whole thing. Yeah, no, it was not Metachan. I would have just accepted regular. If it's
Try to
Pokemon.
think what would train up damn Froakie.
What Pokemon are ninjas? This is the most ninja Pokemon. Okay.
I can give you the third and final hint.
Go ahead.
So it is a second stage Pokemon, and the first stage Pokemon's Pokemon category is the two-handed Pokemon. The only Pokemon with two hands, apparently. The only Pokemon. It's called a two-handed Pokemon because it's the only Pokemon with two hands.
Barbarical?
It is Barbarical. It is Barbarical. Barbarical.
It
Hell
can
yeah.
move its limbs? What?
All of them. It's 7 Binnacles together.
What?
So two
Oh.
Binnacles live. So a Binnacle is two Binnacles. They live on the same rock, and then there are 7 of them together when they become Barbarical.
Oh.
That just
And they
makes sense.
all-
It is one of your favorite Pokemon.
I love it. It's a dude. Gen 6. It was like, it just like made such cool Pokemon across the board. Every Gen 6 mod is amazing.
Yeah, Gen 6 was a good gen for the series.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That is
Yeah,
cool.
look at the design again. Like it's just hand the Pokemon.
Yeah.
It's like a very interesting way to do the concept of like having like barnacle Pokemon. So it has like the two barnacles on the rock working together, but then sometimes they fight with each other. And then when it evolves, you get a whole bunch of them working together, and then sometimes they like ignore each other. I always thought it was a really cool concept.
They kill each other.
No. They like compete against each other,
Oh, okay.
but they have to work together to survive.
That was a good
Right.
one.
Yeah,
Well, I think
it's cool.
I think for my my eyes, we're gonna have to call it good here.
All right, man. Thank you guys for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. Check out my YouTube, Mancini The Amazing. I'm starting to upload.
Yeah. Yeah, check them out.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining. Thanks, Vinny, the Jordan, Electric.
No problem.
It was a pleasure having you guys on. This was a fun episode.
Long and fun, yes.
It was our first VGC special.
Yeah.
The
VGC
VGC special.
extraordinaire.
Don't worry, next time we'll push it to 4 hours.
little.
Mohawk might need a couple bottles for that one.
Yeah. I might need a bottle of tequila, not just a glass.
Maybe wait for your next the sample to come in, Aubrey.
Right. My next whiskey sampling.
Yeah, that's when we'll do the next VGC
Right.
special.
Right. Yep. So yeah, I did Japan last time. Maybe I'll do like Scotland or something next, and we'll do
Oh, very powerful.
yes. All right, that'll do it for episode 16. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you again week 9. All right. Hope you guys have a great day. See you next time. Peace.
Bye.
Wait.